What's up, Fire Nation? If you're here, it's because you don't play small. Fire Nation is for the ones fueled by passion, driven by growth, and hungry to build real wealth. Not just for yourself, but for your family and future generations. This isn't just a channel. This is a movement. And if you're watching, you're already part of it. I'm Miss Blue Fire, always taking you higher. Let's light it up. What's up, Fire Nation? If you don't play small and you're here to build, you're in the right place. I'm Miss Blue Fire, always taking you higher. Let's light it up. What's up, Fire Nation? If you don't play small and you're here to build, you're in the right place. I'm Miss Blue Fire, always taking you higher. Let's light it up. Hello. Now I know you can hear me. Great. Good afternoon, everybody. Dancehall lovers, people from the different camps, haters, and lovers. Good afternoon. Today we have a great show for you. We're going to break down Massika's Barclays show. Honestly. Now, I'm in a unique position. I've watched the show 3.5 times, honestly, and I'm hearing 2 different perspectives. Now, a lot of the things that the naysayers are saying, they have credit, but there's a reason why they're saying it. A lot of the things that the people who are championing the event are saying, they also have credit, but we have to understand why they're saying it. Then we're going to break down the actual show of what Massika needs to do. But before we go into that, let me get into the chat and big up some people. First of all, big up all my subscribers. Big up all the bush people that don't type. I still love you. Like the live. Big up all the haters. Most of them I don't know the name. Doesn't matter because I'll never call it. Right? And big up all the people who want to learn dancehall. And big up all the people who know that they should never make the good be the enemy of the better. Okay, good. Big up Gaza Ricardo, my Gaza brother. Big up yourself. Good night, Miss Bluefire. He says, let me see what time comes in. Time come writing a whole long episode. I thought it was at work. Time come. Miss Drew, listening in. I think you're too kind to Massika. Time come. Marie play emo. His name is Emotep, not Himotech. Why everybody write him name wrong? It's that's so funny. It's Emotep. It's easy. Hold on. Let me read what you said. I think you're too kind to Massika. Infogwe. Marie play Emotep show this AM. You talk some truths, but don't help them waste artists with them waste camp. No. No. Time come, you know better than this. We don't diss no artists here. Right? The camp, the rivalry and the tribal thing, what's going on, and the fighting that's going on, leave the fighting to the people on the battlefield. I'm here to educate so people can make better choices. It's just fact. And I'm a lover of the music and I'm a lover of shows. So it's not a matter of trying to help them camp. No, a matter of fact, most of them probably won't even listen. Or won't even care to listen. You think that everybody everybody thinks there is only Gaza camp of people who very tribal and don't want to hear constructive criticism. Every camp have it. Every camp has it. So there are some people who have the presence of mind to listen and actually take what I'm saying and think about it. And there are some people If it's not sparkling, wonderful, dreamland, them don't want to hear it. And that is their prerogative. So I'm not calling them no waste man. I'm not calling the artist no waste man. I'm not calling the camp no waste camp. Okay? Time coming no better than that. Love you, Miss Jude. Nobody try to sweep me up. I listening. You know how my work. Yes, you're supposed to be at work. Miss Jude, think about how them crucify the artists you love. Yes, I know that. But guess what? So what? You want me to just continue fighting? I'm not a battle axe. You understand that? I am not a battle axe. And I'm not talking to the people who crucify the artists. And I don't, them can crucify the artists all they want. Cartel not coughing. Why am I going to be vomiting? Cartel paying them any mind? Do you see Cartel paying them any mind? Do you see them tearing down Cartel, taking away any zeros from his bank account? Same thing with Massika. Right? Of course I rate my artist. That is my artist. Of course I love what him do for the culture. Of course I stand behind him 100%. But that don't mean I have to get into the what everybody is doing and the politics and the fighting. I don't need to do that. I have to protect my own nervous system. I am responsible for my own vibration. Most of you need to know this. Be responsible for your own vibration. Because peace and prosperity go together. Telling you what I know. Take it or leave it. Hey, Queen. Hi, 3Z Records. Respect you, Miss Jew. If you respect me, where you at? Why say love you, Miss Jew, but don't give them no notes. Im flap. Im BB. Time come. You have one more time. And you know some love you, but me have to take away your range. Right? I understand that you see that him flop. And I understand. And I heard what you said about him flop. Right? But I'm going to tell you why it appeared that him flopped more than he did. I'm going to explain to you why. A lot of it was positioning. A lot of it was stage direction. A lot of it was not highlighting his strengths. And a lot of it he had to extend himself. And I can see it from a stage production side. I can see it from what it is that dancehall needs. Okay? So don't just accept him flop. Find out why. People have certain, I hear what you said. You said break control. I agree with that. The break control on certain things. Right? Right? I agree with that. What you talk about but it's not a matter of elephant man show him up. It's not a matter of that. It's a matter of placement and how he was placed. We cannot treat an arena like a club or like a festival. These are facts. And this is what I need to drive into the different people's minds, the different people's heads. Okay? Time come, you know, say I respect you and love your family. You know that. Right? But over here, we have a certain order. If you're there, right? Me no want to hear, definitely, me no say naga cuss Cartel, but me no want to hear the bring down any, because not time come, I know what it's like to stand on a stage and present and have talent. A lot of things I didn't do because the lifestyle didn't fit me, because I prefer peace. And a lot of the people I didn't like in certain industries. That's why I didn't choose it. I could have, but I didn't. Just fact. Entertainment, modeling, performing, dancing. Fact. I'm good at all of those things. But guess what? And I had opportunity, but guess what? The lifestyle, and when you get introduced to the lifestyle, these people have to deal with the lifestyle, as well as the craft, as well as them skill, as well as the performance, as well as the public. And it's our people still. Right? Yes, we can troll, and yes, we can talk, but when it come on to hate, I don't know the man. Why you hate it? Just coming like some random people telling me, oh, I don't like Miss Judah. Who gives a fuck, bitch? Who cares? Excuse me for cursing, but who gives a fuck? You don't know me. I don't know you. If you need a job, let me know. Send me a resume. I'll probably help you out because you have too much time on your hands. So, make we continue. Time come, much respect. But you know how this panel over here on this platform go. Good. Now, tonight, we are not doing fan talk. We're not doing camp talk. We're not doing my artist shell because we like the artists. Tonight, we are putting Massika's Barclays show on the operating table. And I want everybody to understand the question before we start. Was this a great Reggae Fest show? Or was this a great Massika show? Because those are not automatically the same things. Massika had the venue, yes. Massika had the building. Yes. Massika had the billing. Yes. Massika had the moment. Yes. Massika had a major album era to push. And I'm going to talk about that too. Because guess what? Another thing that I didn't talk about on Imhotep platform because I was waiting for tonight is the fact that he had a major album push. And the show could have actually been an instrument to help with that. It's just a fact. Listen, just like how I said that my artist rollout could have been better, right? It could have like even a Carib Day or a movie day production showing about God and time and sell merch and all that stuff, right? This show could have been used as a tool for that album, even though the album was released right before. It still could have pushed sales, and I'm going to explain to you how and the marketing opportunity that he missed there. Right? Around him, he had people like Elephant Man, Ding Dong, Vanessa Bling, Tyrus Riley, I-Octane, Swiss Beats, and others helping to create a huge night. But here is where tonight gets uncomfortable for a lot of people. When the guests come out and the temperature rises, when Elephant Man comes out and turns the arena into a pressure cooker, when another performer creates a bigger visual moment, when another artist commands the crowd differently, I have to ask, did those artists enhance Massika? Or did they just enhance the show? Or did they expose what Massika needs to work on? Because this is the thing, Fire Nation. A guest show should make the headliner look bigger. A guest should expand the headliner's universe. It's like you having a wedding and you have bridesmaids. You're not going to put them in wedding dresses. Absolutely not. It's the bride's day. She's supposed to be the only one that's wearing white. She's the only one that's supposed to be fabulous looking wearing white. The guest should never leave anybody asking, why did this show feel more exciting when Massika wasn't the one performing? It's just a fact. And these are things that can be tweaked. And that is why we are here tonight. That is what we are going on tonight. I'm putting on every hat and I'm going to show you how different people in the industry think. We're going to put on the fan hat. We're going to put on the promoter hat. We're going to put on the artist manager hat. We're going to put on the creative director hat. And we're going to put on the international business hat because that is important, especially when it comes on to arena shows. And yes, we're going to talk about the dancehall politics hat. And as I said the other day, yesterday, actually, on Imhotep platform, most Gaza people move on from Vanessa Bling. That's just the fact. From what I know, from what I see, from what I hear, they're not thinking about Vanessa Bling. You understand what I'm saying? It's not a problem. But apparently, there are some people that still carrying that about her, but nobody not thinking about Vanessa Bling. She move on with her life. That's great. Right? She have to do what's best for her career and her life. As a woman, I understand that too as well. Elephant Man's performance means something different if you are the fan versus if you are Massika's manager. You cannot go around it. If you wear different hats, you start to see things differently. That is why when I do album reviews, I don't only listen to it as a fan. I listen to it as the whole cohesive project. What was the message, the placements of the songs, etc., etc. What was the album trying? What was the artist trying to reveal for his next stage? Right? You don't just listen to the songs just for the song on face value. An album, just like a show, is a complete artistic work that you need to break apart and look at it cohesively as well. Now, even Time Come had some issues with the Massika performance. Himself, him never have no energy, and yes, him said something there outshine him, and him run out of breath, and him start and finish with the same song, and him category limited But listen, a lot of it had to do with the fact that these deficiencies, let me say that, was highlighted. Creative direction is supposed to help the artist to be, it's the artist's show. It's his wedding. It's his show. He's supposed to be pedalized, not penalized, right? Now, Swiss beats means something completely different when you put on the international business hat. No, even time comes to me, Swiss beats, yeah, but him never really do nothing. I mean, I know why I was in the show. That's what time comes. And time come, I'm saying your things because you never tell me say it was private, and because you come on my platform, I cuss people, and say we don't tear down the artists them here, even if you don't belong to them camp. You have other platforms you can do that. I can't, do something there. What people do, I can't determine our control what people do, but I can control what I do. And over here, right? Good. Right? Swiss beats means something completely different when you put on the international business hat. And the decision to keep breaking up Massika's set, that decision there was not a good decision. And I'm going to go into the fact that there are two models of an arena show, arena style show. And if you don't believe me, you can look it up. And the model that he chose did not help Massika. And this is for future, for every other artist to consider. Okay? But that deserves its own conversation. And we're going to have it. Because if you think about it, when you repeatedly interrupt the headliner and bring on people with completely different performance strengths, you start to change the audience's reference point. That's what you do mentally. Massika might come back performing at an 8. But if Elephant Man just gave the audience a 10, the 8 can suddenly feel like a 6. That's not disrespect. It's concert psychology. Please look up these things. Please, may I beg you, look up these things. Concert psychology. And it's common sense. So I am giving you the things that I learned. I had to go away to learn these things. Right? And the people and the genres that are benefiting from these things. That's why I said to dancehall people, go to other concerts. The best concerts I have been to be honest, I've been to many concerts. The best concert I've been to was a Pink concert, and I don't even really love Pink. I don't even like Pink like that. I don't like her like that. I don't have none of her albums. Pink and then Beyonce. Right? So when you see certain things that them use to make them look so strong, if we adopt some of those things, Jamaican people, dancehall people, if we adopt some of those things, those seriousness of how the placement and actually listen, or stop them gone. So I'm cross-pollinating things that I've learned and things that I see can work and things that I know can work for dancehall. Right? Concert psychology. Big up yourself, Ematep. One Mr. Blue Fan. Big up yourself, Ematep. One owl and the app. Right? So I don't want anybody coming in here tonight thinking this is a Massika hate session. Absolutely not. In fact, I believe Massika has one of the strongest foundations of his generation. It's just a fact. Songs, he has them. To me, he needs some more woman songs. The time comes says that too. Lyrics, absolutely. Voice, his voice is distinctive. Identity, very strong. Credibility, strong. International potential, absolutely. But tonight, Fire Nation and all the other nations that are here and the people in the bush, hey, bush people, I love men who love bush. Please like the live. But tonight, we're asking the questions that come after all of that. Can the recording artist Massika become the arena entertainer Massika needs to become? And I'm going to go into why I say that. Because Barclays is different. Barclays exposes things that a club can hide. It's just a fact. That's what arenas do. A club can hide, say, a weak transition. This have nothing to do with the artist performance, This have to do with the stage management and the production management and the creative direction. A club can hide a weak transition. A club can hide limited movement. Why? Because you're limited movement in the club. A club can hide, say, storytelling isn't that strong because people want to go on to the next thing. People move on to the next thing, move on to the next thing. A club can hide the fact that the audience is responding more to the song than to the performer. This is what I want to show you. This is why I said Jamaican people. And I'm not just tie this in. Somebody the other day was the DM me and cuss me, said the carnival say, oh, we have carnival on your page because so we not deal with them slackness there and it's an uptown thing and blah 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 blah. I said, listen, you think say those people from other cultures not listening to our dancehall? They're listening and they're stealing. That's why when I went to Mexico, that's why when I went to Curacao, that's why when I went to, it was Mexico, Curacao, and where else did I hear them thieving? Was it Brazil? Another one that I went to. I heard some of our old songs being riffed and them just changed the words to Spanish. And guess what? A lot of us are in the dark about that. You know why? Because we don't cross-pollinate. It's just a fact. They listen to us. We need to listen to them. You need to know what your potential enemies are doing. We can't just be in a shell and just focus on dancehall. We need to cross-pollinate, see what works, test it, try it out, because that's what our genre deserves. Because they are trying out ours. And responding more to a song and a song forward is different than responding to the performer. That is why silence matters. And that is the art, and I want you to tie it in together. That is the art that you saw when Ninja Man came out on stage and said nothing. And everybody lift up. You know why? Silence is a tool. In performance, it is a tool. Okay? It's just a fact. So we're going to go deep into it. And this is going to explain why people like Time Come say, it flop. Let's break down why it appeared that like he flopped. Let's break down where he could have been better supported to shine for his strengths. Yes, there are things that he needs to work on. That's definite. And don't we all have them? Yes, we do. But an arena exposes everything. And if this is the fact. This is the fact. Who don't like me already don't like me. Who like me, you can stay if you want. This is a fact. If we are going to start using words like king, goat, face of dancehall, the next one in line to carry the genre, then I'm sorry. The standards have to rise. It's a fact. It's a fact. That don't mean say him not in line. If he's next in line, I don't know. I don't know the future. And there are other people who just as active, but let's see. But you cannot ask for the crown and then ask us to grade you like everybody else. We cannot do that. If you're a prefect, I can't grade you like a regular student. If you're a head girl, I can't grade you like a prefect, unless you're talking about actual class grades. No, behavior. The crown comes with a different rubric. So tonight, Fire Nation, we are grading everybody who helped the show, who hurt the architecture, who was placed correctly, who was placed dangerously, who gave Massika credibility, who gave him international credibility, who gave him energy, and who accidentally exposed deficiencies in his performance. Fire Nation, let's fire break down Massika's Barclays show honestly, for the love of dancehall. Good? All right, good. So let's go. Now listen, I'm going to tell you something. I did not beautify these slides because I didn't have time. You guys know I actually have a job and I have to take care of people and do all this stuff, right? So this is actually taking up a lot of time. And to be honest, I haven't even swam in 5 days, which is a lot. So no beautification of slides, but you can still get the lesson. Imhotep says, so true. The optics are important. Definitely. Michael Jackson at the Super Bowl too. True, Imhotep. Very true. First, let's separate the two questions. Before we grade anybody, we have to separate two completely different questions. Question one, was this a good show? What does this ask when somebody says if this was a good show? That asks, did the audience get entertainment? Apparently, yes. Was there excitement? Yes. Apparently, yes. Audience loved it. Were there surprises? Yes. The dancer, all that stuff. Were there strong performance? Yes, they were. You can see the forwards. Elephant Man, Vanessa Bling, right? Taras Riley. Was there variety? Yes. Taras Riley, Vanessa Bling, even the cultural dancers. That makes a great freaking show. Did the promoter provide value? Yes. Did the audience have a memorable night? Apparently, yes. Now, question two. Big up yourself, Dr. Rambo 954. Mix. Big up yourself, TG Media Philip, my brother in real life. Big up yourself. Hi, Dr. Rambo. Big up yourself. Question two. Did Massika give a great headliner performance? Now, this is where we're at. That asks, let me tell you what that asks. Did Massika control the arena? Did Massika create the biggest moments? Did Massika sustain attention? Did Massika demonstrate headliner architecture? We're going to go into what that is. Did Massika dominate the stage when he was on it? Did Massika remain psychological center of the concert? That's the creative director's job. So a lot of the things that you saw fall short was not because of Massika. That's what I'm trying to get to you. A lot of it, like there's some things that you need to improve, like in stamina, in breath work, when it come on to the communication with the audience, right? And the in-between song moments. He has not perfected that. That's what you need to perfect, the in-between song moments to show the real Massika. That makes a show. But we're going to get into that. However, a lot of things when it come on to him being less of the psychological center of the concert was creative direction. So a lot of people who said that it flopped, the Elephant Man show him up. There's a reason for that. It wasn't necessarily his fault, because Massika doesn't have to be Elephant Man and don't have to have Elephant Man strengths. Okay, so we're going to go into that. Now, here's another question. Could Massika have carried the room without the guests? This is an honest question for dancehall and for everybody else, all the international promoters. Could Massika have carried the room without the guests? And guess what? Some people say no. A lot of crooks say, yes, man, of course him could look at it, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? We don't know. We honestly don't know. But guess what? Those are not the same question. Here's a fact. The guests can make the concert better while simultaneously making the headliner's shortcomings, in other words, what he needs to work on, more visible. And it's all have to do with placement and the art of placement. That distinction matters enormously. Dr. Rambo said, don't think he did the biggest moment. A lot of people say that, Dr. Rambo, right? A lot of people say Elephant took the show with that. But again, how much of that is Massika's fault? So we're going to go into that. Now, what was Massika actually being asked to prove? This wasn't some fest, you know. This wasn't Massika doing 15 minutes inside somebody else's show. This was Reggae Fest presents Massika, Barclays Center. That title changes the entire standard. Massika, yes, he previously appeared at Barclays doing Bounty Killers event, where his shorter, concentrated performance was extremely effective. Everybody say him shut it down. People that I know that went there. That situation itself, it suit Massika very well. Why? Because Massika is extremely effective in a concentrated burst. Right? His challenge at his own show was different. And I'm going to tell you why. You see, artists, you have to look at them like sprinters and say runners. Some of them, their strength is concentrated bursts, short bursts. Just like make with somebody who everybody know Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes have that too. But you have to be able to do and to be able to command for a marathon. Does that mean that he cannot do it? No. But what I'm saying is the show did not depict that well. You have to listen to me. This music thing and this performance thing is really just a sport. It's really a sport. So you have to juxtapose it with sports. He's very, very good as a sprinter. Concentrated bursts. His challenge at his own show was different. Why? Because it's not a matter of can Massika perform. We know he can perform. We know that him have it inside of him to perform. Even Bounty Killer show that. The question was, can Massika make Barclays feel like his house for an extended period? Like his house. This doesn't mean that it wasn't good for dancehall. This doesn't mean that him never lift the genre in that one. I'm going to explain to you why he did, using the different hats. Right? But you need to work on him long distance marathoning. That is a much harder test. Right? And we have to go through the performance rubric. This is what we're going to go through right now. We can't simply say, I like him. Like some of the camp people say, oh, I like him. Right? We need metrics. Now, here's the metric. And I had to screenshot it because I couldn't do the thing. Metric. What are we measuring? When you measure vocal DJ execution, what are you measuring? Delivery, breath, clarity, timing. Catalog strength. What are you measuring? How powerful the records feel live. A lot of people were responding to the songs, right? But he needs some more woman songs. This is just a fact. And it works. Stage presence, his physical authority and charisma. This is something that he needs to work on too. We're going to go into why I said that. Right? Crowd command. Can the artist control thousands of people? Pacing, which is the set construction and the transition. Showmanship. Moments, not just movements, moments. Theatrics, spontaneity. That's the showmanship of dancehall. You know we have that. Arena scale. Does the performance feel designed for Barclays? Visual storytelling. Does the show communicate a story visually as well? I did like the dancer that came out. Emotional range. Here's the thing. Can the artist create peaks and valleys? A lot of his songs that could have created this emotional range were not used. Can the artist himself create those peaks and valleys? Taurus Riley was supposed to be used as a valley because of how he is. I'm going to go into that. Personality, what happens between the songs? This is weird. This here, so, is where I think Massika need to work. What happened between the songs? Because there's a couple times when him actually have the crowd, right? But him could have worked it a bit more. Memorability. Did the artist create the moment that people discuss afterwards? And what about headliner authority? Did everybody still understand whose show it was? These are the questions, dancehall people. Big up Guchu. These are the questions, dancehall people, that we need to ask to improve our genre, on the international stage. Not just about Massika. It's about what dancehall actually deserves. Now, another thing I'm seeing people conflate. Sold out does not necessarily equate, and I spell necessarily wrong, necessarily equate to the best performance that the artist could have given. It's a fact. As sold out shows, what does that prove? That proves demand. That's what it proves. It doesn't prove performance quality. So when people say, oh, yeah, man, him shut it down because it's sold out. No, honey, it was sold out before he performed. Those are two different metrics, clearly. Right? Mixing them up gives you weak analysis. A sellout tells people that people were willing to buy the tickets before they saw the performance. And let's be real here. Let's be real. What does demand come from? I'm talking about shows in general. And I can't take it personally if I don't want to take it personally. But this is a constructive thing. The demand could have come from Massika's popularity, the artist's popularity, the Reggae Fest brand itself. There's people who go to Reggae Fest every year, no matter who is there. The guest lineup, the lineup was a good lineup. Curiosity, the fact that there's support, there's Caribbean community support. The diaspora say, yeah, man, we're going to show. Could also be hype around the Barclays, that too. the album moment that was not used properly, social momentum, and the event being positioned as a major dance all night. No, I'm not. Don't misquote me and say, oh, Miss Julia said that people buy the show not because of Massika, but because of all those things. Look at what I wrote. The demand can come from. The reason why I'm making that distinction is because, again, sold out does not necessarily equate to the best performance the artist could have given. Sold out happens before the lights go down. Then what happened after the lights go down? The artist perform. So we can't conflate the two things. That is what I'm saying. This is not the analysis on Massika. I'm not saying that it was sold out because of Reggae Fest brand or because of the guest lineup or because of the hype around Barclays. That's not what I'm saying. And I'm going to make that very crystal clear because I know a lot of them like to clip and take and misquote and create narratives in the space because they don't have nothing to do. So let me be very clear. That's not what I'm saying, but these are facts. Now, the performance has to be judged on a different rubric. There's stage command, pacing, crowd control, vocal execution, transition, visual storytelling, movement, emotional range. So yes, you can absolutely say the building may have been sold out, but Massika performance itself has room for the artist to grow and to improve. That is not contradictory, people. Where you get all of this all or nothing? I'm sorry for no. If you don't have this all or nothing mentality, black and white, no, baby, there's also gray. Think about it this way. A movie can sell out opening weekend and still be badly reviewed. A restaurant can book fully and still give poor service. It's just a fact. A product can sell out from hype on TikTok and still disappoint customers. So what I'm saying is do not equate the two. Not because he sold out the show means that the performance was the best that it could have been. It's just a fact. And when I hear you people say this, it makes me know how much you don't know. It's just a fact. If you never like me, it don't matter. You continue not liking me. Believe me. Believe me. I really don't give a shit. Sales measures demand. Performance measures delivery. And in Massika's case, the distinction is important. The sellout proves that Massika has market power and the event have strong commercial appeal. That is a major positive. That is a win. But once he stepped on the stage, the question changed from can he attract a crowd to can he himself command that crowd at king of dancer level. Those are not the same tests. And that is the grade that I'm holding Massika to. You know why? Because he talk about king, he talk about good. And guess what? Him have the potential. Of his generation, he's a good artist. That's why he's in the conversation. So do not expect, as I said in my opening, to talk about goat, king, face a dancehall, and expect to be judged at just a regular artist level. It's not going to happen. Now, where Massika was still lacking was not in whether people knew his songs. People clearly knew his songs, even through this phone screen that I watch. People knew his songs. It was whether his performance consistently created enough theater, because it's a show, people, personality, pacing, visual dominance, crowd manipulation. You need this. And this is one of Cartel's strengths. And I'm not comparing him to Cartel, but I'm telling you what can be developed. Listen, this is the thing what you guys don't, a lot of people when I hear a talk are not understanding. There's a difference between talent and skill. Is it talent? Raw talent? Massika have raw talent. Cartel have raw talent, right? Cartel developing skill over time. Massika have skill too. But there are more skills that need to be developed. And guess what? He is younger. That is okay. There's a difference between your talent and your skills. Your skills are something that your skills is something that you practice and you get better at with your talent. Right? And could he create uninterrupted headliner authority? The way how that show was set up, his headliner authority was interrupted. And I'm going to show you the two different models for putting on an arena show. And I'm going to explain to you why I would have wished that they used the other one. So the correct conclusion is not, oh, the show sold out, therefore Massika gave an A performance. No, that don't make no sense. The sellout proved Massika's drawing power, pulling power. The performance showed he still has work to do to convert that drawing power into elite arena command. And don't you want that for your artist? If you don't want it for your artist, maybe you don't like him. Maybe I like your artist more than you. Fire Nation, ticking sales happen before the performance. The greatness of the performance is judged after the lights go down. Now let's get into it. Massika's performance. Now I'm going to give you my grades. Big up Gucci. B+ musically. B- to B as an arena headliner execution. And a lot of it wasn't his fault. This is where people can misunderstand the criticism. Massika did not perform badly. Technically, Massika remains one of the cleaner performers among his generation. The weakness was not primarily musical competence. His weakness was not him competence in the music world. It was command, theater, and differentiation. And I'm going to explain those three to you. Right? Now, Massika vocal DJ execution, I give him a B. One of Massika's strongest attributes remains his ability to reproduce complicated records convincingly. It's true. His material is not easy. If you listen to his material, him have dense lyrics. Him have internal rhymes. If you listen to him songs, him change the cadence all through the songs. Him have quick phrasing. That is very hard to do. Him have melody mixed into DJing. Right? And him have records that require precision. Massika, generally, he maintain control. That is significant. Some dancehall performers survive live because the audience sings the record for them. Right? But this is one of his strongest attributes. It's just a fact. Okay? Massika's catalog, I give it a B, B-. Yeah, big up Simply Perfect, objective, facts about emotional validation every time. That's right. Young Lord, are you a lecturer? I should be. I probably should have been. I do it, well, I don't know. Maybe. I like to teach. I teach a lot. Anyway, Massika's catalog, B, B-. This is what I say. Listen why. When I hear the criticism from Time Come and some other people from other nations, it's not just Gaza nation. There's other people from other nations too. And some of you know it's crooks too. Nobody should walk away from Barclays arguing that Massika doesn't have songs. Nobody. That is not the issue. His catalog is a legitimate weapon. But Massika's catalog is not his biggest problem anymore, even though he need more girl song. That is why I reject when people say, Massika don't have enough songs to headline. No, he has enough songs. He needs more girl songs, yes. But what he needs better is categorization and sequencing. That's what he needs. The placement matters. Guys, you can't just pick artists or pick songs. The placement matters. Why? The transition matters. Why? Music is emotional. And so what does that mean? You're taking the audience on a journey. The nervous system have to reset to feel the build. It's just a fact. Part 9. Massika's stage presence, I give him a B, B+. Why? It needs to develop. When you see other arena shows, and you see the in-between personality, sometimes them start talk, right? Massika has presence. Yes, him have presence. But presence and domination are not identical. And it's different in an arena. What it takes to dominate on a festival and dominate in a club is different than an arena. It's a bigger space. Massika has a serious control persona. He doesn't naturally perform like Elephant Man or Beanie Man or Bounty Killer or any extreme kinetic veteran entertainers. Kinetic means like movement. And he doesn't have to. Those performers, they manipulate crowds physically. But guess what? Massika doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to jump up and down. He doesn't have to make no scream, nothing. But there's something, but he needs his own. domination, and I'm going to tell you what I see. Okay, those people who are um, kinetic veteran entertainers that perform that manipulate the crowds, right? What they use movement, they use silence too, they use call and response, that's interacting with the audience. They use them facial expression, the theatrics. Them use them body language too. Them use humor, some of them, like even Mr. Vegas. Them use aggression. Them use improv. And them use the audience participation. There are times when Massika had the crowd's attention. They were in the palm of his hands. I don't expect Massika to be jumping up and down and doing it, because that's not him. That's not me either. He could have used silence a bit more. Him could have used the call and response a bit more. Him could have used a little bit of improvisation so people can see in personality, the sweet personality that everybody say him have, a bit more. Massika style is more, listen to me deliver this song properly. There's nothing wrong with that. That works tremendously well in clubs. It works tremendously well in festivals and in shorter sets. Remember, I said to you, he's a sprint artist, but he had the potential to be a marathon artist. But Barclays exposes that difference. And so a lot of people who say, him flop. Him don't know how to work with the crowd. Him don't know how to do this. It's not a matter of flop. It's a matter of what him need, what him can develop for him own signature. Because him need him own signature thing. Right? Just like, you can look at a bounty killer and say, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get militancy. Bounty killer going to give you a sermon. Bounty killer going to give you that aggression. That angry, mad, miserable. Elephant man going to give you a movement. Be the man going to give you probably some joke and some movement too. And some charm. And some jokify thing. Massika needs him own thing. So it's not just like a set, a dancehall set in an arena. No. This is what I'm talking about. And a part of this is him anthems. Him needs some anthems, like even an anthem to enter the show other than whites. It's just a fact. Massika crowd command. I give him a B minus. B to B minus. The reason why I give him a B to B minus is I'm balancing. A lot of people who were there said that in crowd command, they loved it. A lot of people who were there, some people that were there said that people were just reacting to the songs and not Massika, because the song them get a big forward more than Massika. Some people said that. I have to listen to everybody. I also have to be honest at the fact that I was not there. So I can't judge crowd command from being there. Right? From over the screen, I see that it could have been much better, but I have to put that in the factor and factor that in that, Julia, you were not there. And looking it through a screen, no matter if you watch it 3.5 times, is not the same as being there and feeling the energy. So, benefit of the doubt, B minus. But, again, we must separate the song reaction from the performer reaction. When you hear a big song that you love, people lift up. When you hear something like, anyway, that is a performer reaction. When the artist quiet and just start to laugh and say, "What? I can't sing my song them." That is performer reaction. That's personality. That's what I'm trying to get you. Massika have the potential to have that. If major Massika song starts and the Barclays explodes, part of that explosion belongs to the record. It's true. Elite stage performers can get enormous reactions between the records. Ninja Man, Beanie Man, Bounty Killer, Elephant Man, Vibes Cartel, do that. Massika can do that too. This is where I'm talking the difference between talent and skill. Skill is something that you can develop. Talent is something that you're born with. Skill is something you know how, you develop, you do it over and over and over again. This is really great for dancehall people. We're going to go into why and all the reasons why it's great for dancehall. So I hope you're here with me for the whole night, or you're going to catch this on the playback. Right? It's great for dancehall, but guess what? We cannot approach these arenas with a festival mindset. We cannot. Artist, elite, as you can say, 3 words and the whole building respond. That is what you call crowd command. So Massika has another gear to develop there. It has nothing to do with with his songs. It have nothing to do with him as a performer because, as I say, fantastic in short bursts. But a longer set requires more. A bigger place requires much more. Showmanship, give him a B minus. This is one of his weaker major categories. But guess what? You know what the funny thing is? This is one of the reasons why a lot of people say him flop, because I asked them, why are you saying flop? Tell me why. Don't just tell me, oh, him flop, him flop, him flop, him flop. No, 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 no. What about it you didn't like? The showmanship. But guess what the good news is for Massika? It's a showmanship that can be developed. Showmanship can be learned. It can be practiced. And it was the showmanship for such a long set in such a big place. Now, Massika's artistry is more developed than his theatrical identity. It's just a fact. Reason, I guess because he's in the studio all the time. His artistry is good. It's different than his theatrical identity. What I mean by theatrical identity, Julia, look at even the dancehall stage shows. Right? Again, think about Ninja Man, Beanie Man, Lady Saw. Even Shensia have the theatrical identity. Think about how easily you can describe certain performance. Listen to me, and I want you to hear me. Tell me, said Massika don't deserve to develop this. And if you're in him camp and you cannot see it, maybe you don't like him. It's just a fact. Right? Because this is what actually going to bring him to the next level, which he can go in potential. He's not perfect. None of us are. Elephant Man. Everybody know when you get Elephant Man, what you getting? Chaos, movement, dancing, color, interaction. Bounty Killer, you get no authority, voice, militancy, you get no sermon. Beanie Man, you get some charm, you get dancing, you get comedy, you get crowd interaction. My body there, Vegas, Mr. Vegas, right? You get charm, you get comedy, you get the crowd interaction, right? Him try wind up himself a couple times. You understand? You get the personality. Cartel, you get the iconography. What is iconography? Symbols, meanings. You get the anticipation. You get the persona. You know much time him falls that way? I mean, the woman him have to laugh. And him start laugh off of we. Him get the audience mythology. These are things that he can develop. Massika's arena scale, I put B to B minus. And this is not from me. This is just from listening to different people. You have to balance it. This may be one of the most consequential issues. A Barclays headliner should make you think this show could not have been presented this way in a 2,000 person theater. Hear what I'm saying? A Barclays headliner should make you think this show could not have been presented this way at a 2,000 person theater. Now, what I did like is they did try to have some spectacles, like with the confetti, etc. Pardon, right? There must be better scale, lighting, the visual storytelling, right? I was waiting for them to even tie in the album or even like a big cinematics, talking even a little thing about the album for even like 2 minutes, talking about Massika. It's his show. Transitions, band arrangements. There was no band, but entrances and set pieces, right? The video packages, surprises, wardrobe. He had some wardrobe changes. The audience participation. I wanted more of that. A beginning, a middle, and a climax. And ideally, a narrative. This is the thing that I saw that disappointed me. And I'm going to tell you what it is. Massika's music contains enormous narrative potential. It's just a fact. Now, imagine if the production reflected that. In actual music, what him actually have that him could have used. Him could have moved through the struggle, survival, the street dominance, the relationship to the success. That could have been a spectacular show. Could have been much more. Could have been much better. It's still good. It was still great for the culture. It was still ended. But I'm just trying to show you the next level. We need to have our vision on the next level so that we can be better. Do not get comfortable in anything. Don't get, not even in your relationship, you're married, don't get comfortable. Still take care of yourself. Don't let go of yourself. Instead, portions felt closer to dancehall set placed inside an arena. I'm going to tell you why. Because dancehall sets have a certain structure, and that was the same structure that he used inside of this arena. I'm going to go into it. Right? It gave me the feeling, and I'm telling you my opinion. I may not be right, and I am not Jesus Christ Muma. What I'm saying is not gospel, but I'm telling you from my experience and from my expertise. What it felt like was a very good dancehall set placed inside of an arena than an arena show conceived fully around Massika. Those are two very different things. Let me look at the chat. Dr. Rambo said, nice info, Julia. Me rate the noise. No problem, Dr. Rambo. No problem. And TG Media says, true. Yeah. So it can be better. So no, memorability. I give him a B. They were memorable pieces. But ask the tougher question. Was it the Massika Barclays moment? What is the Massika Barclays moment? What was that? Because everybody telling me, say, to them, the biggest moments was when Elephant Man was there and when the other when Vanessa Bling come out and the forward and stuff like that. And when I hear people talk, even the fans, the hardcore fans of Massika, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I wonder if I should tug at him mind and ask him, okay, so what moment you remember from Massika? Listen to me. These are things that could have been creatively directed. A great arena headliner, them have to manufacture landmark moments. You see, like how, and I'm going to give the comparison because Massika have the potential. You see, like when Vibes Cartel come out and him start cry, or with his mother, that's a landmark moment. You see, when Gully and Vibes Cartel come out and them hug up and them start singing each other song together, that's a landmark moment. Right? No, landmark moments, they happen through production, performance, the storytelling, the iconography, as I tell you, the symbols, surprise, right? And the emotional connection. That's the biggest thing, the emotional connection. That's the landmark moment. When people can say, oh my God, and when him come out and his mother was there and them start cry, oh God, man. Like, oh my goodness, when Gully and Gaza come out and them hug up and them, oh my God, man. What was that moment there? We need that moment. It can be manufactured. The definitive Massika Barclays moment needed to be unmistakable. I don't want to hear that Massika's Barclays moment was the big forward for Vanessa Bling get, or what Elephant Man tear up the stage, or when Tyrus Riley performed. No. Those entertainers, as great as they are and as good as they were for dancehall, and as good as they are for dancehall, and as good as they were for the show, and as good as they were for the promoter, they also need to be good for Massika. Massika's biggest strength, let's go into that. Blessing self-made. Big up yourself. Gucci, you are needed out here. Thank you, Gucci. They might try to fight me, but guess what? They don't know on my back broad. They make the pretty face fool them. That's what them do. They make the face fool them. And them don't know what is behind it. But fools will be fooled. And the Bible says, do not treat a fool according to his folly. So that may follow. Big up yourself. And I'm glad you're here. Make sure you like and subscribe. Bush people, like and subscribe, please. Massika's biggest strength, lyrical precision. Him have lyrical precision. Very few contemporary dancehall artists have the combination of technical lyricism, commercial records, and live reproducibility. He has that. That is why Cartel had bigged them up in the beginning, because him can see that in him. We can't take it away. It's true. Song depth, Massika has material that goes deeper emotionally than the generic. Oh, him shell down the place. Oh, him shell down the place. Shell down the place records. Okay, but him have deeper emotional music than that. It's just fact. Him have song depth. Why? That's tied to his lyrical ability. His introspective material gives him something many dancehall performers cannot use. You know what? This is why it pissed me off when I watch it 3.5 times. This is what pissed me off, because of the potential. Because me I say him can do so much emotional storytelling from him albums, them, all three of them. Him have so much introspective material that could have formed that emotional connection to make him signature moments, and they did not use it properly. It's not his fault. These people have jobs. But he needed to theatricalize it. Modern catalog, I give him a B, B minus. You know why me? Some more woman song. Even though, this is a fact, even though Massika does not have to rely entirely on nostalgia, because he has some new songs that people like, his catalog needs to be strengthened. We cannot go around it. For the type of performer that he is, for the talent that he has, he need the catalog to reflect his talent. Many legacy acts have tremendous performances because the audience already has decades of emotional attachment. It's just a fact. Decades of emotional attachment. What one dance can do. All of that. Massika can generate reactions from relatively recent records as well. That tells you that his career is healthy. Let's look at his career. I don't care about the camp. I don't care about what him do. I don't care about, all the people said them don't like him, all that stuff. Yes, some of those things can make him less likable. It's true, right? But don't get into that. Let's look at the music, right? No, there's a lot of politics that go into music because, as I said to you, anytime there's money involved, there's politics right around the corner. As soon as there's money changing hands, there's politics, right? But I'm not talking about his politics career in the music industry right now. I'm talking about his musical career, like what him actually have. Authenticity, I give him a B. That matters commercially. You know why? Nothing about Massika feels overly manufactured. Him don't feel like a pop, like a plant. His lyrical persona feels consistent. A matter of fact, sometimes too consistent to the point where people say that him just have one flow. His lyrical persona, that's a different thing. It feels consistent. His record, connects to his identity. His voice, you know him voice. When you hear him voice, you know him voice. It's unmistakable. So him have that. It's not like him sound like other people. Some of them, especially the new ones, when I hear them, I'm like, who that? Him sound like that one there. Oh, them all sound the same. His voice is unmistakable. We can't take it away from him. That's a good thing. If you are an international record executive, that is valuable. You see, the fact that him voice unmistakable, him records connect to him identity, and the fact that him authentic, that is valuable as an international record executive. You can always improve stage production, but you cannot manufacture credibility easily. It's just like Golly God. You can see the street on him. He's very credible. I believe him. Me believe him as a street. You can see it on him. Or him talk, or him move, or him look, or him even smile. You can see it. Right? Massika is who him is. Right? Do I think him is a bad man and a hard man? No, I don't think so. That's why when him start acting like, oh, like Tommy Lee, I don't believe you. But he doesn't have to be that. Right? Massika's biggest weakness, we're going to go into that. Listen to me. This is what I see. Weakness number 1. Limited performance personality between the songs. That's what we wanted. That would have make it like, Massika show. Oh my God, when him say this, the whole place lift up. Oh, when him say that, Massika not easy, you know. That's what we needed. The artists people hear between the songs matter almost as much as the songs. Look at Queen Ifrika. Big up the Queen. And first and secondly, go get her album. And you know what happened? I'm going to say another thing. Capitan album good too. And it's not because Capitan is my artist. Yes, he is my artist. That's actually my first artist. But Capitan album good too. Listen to it. Queen Ifrika song. Queen Ifrika album real excellent. No need to listen to it. But when you see Queen Ifrika perform, she shows that personality between songs, right? She talk to you, she make you laugh. Even when she was on Vibes Cartel show the other day, right? And one of the girls them last them Eric, and she said, "Oh, what is? Oh, call up Miss Chin or whatever Chin or whatever. Is our airing this? Hey, those style of things are real good, you know, are real good." And everybody laugh. Personality. Guess what, people? It's a show. It's not just playing. It's not just sing music and left. No, it's entertainment. Why you think Fanboy is so effective right now? Because he's a true entertainer. You know why? Because the man fun in entertaining. There's some artists That them just have that, them not just singers, them have the entertainment spark. It's just a fact. Famba have that. Mr. Vegas have that. Right? Beanie Man have that. Like him or not. Okay? Vibes Cartel definitely have it. Queen Ifrica definitely have it. Massika still tends to retreat into performance mode. That works for a club. That works for a festival. It does not work for a Massika showcase. We need to see more Massika. And he has the substance there. Why are we not seeing it? I hope his team is listening. We need more Massika the human being. We saw a glimpse of it in the interview. We need to see it more in the performance. Weakness number 2. Dexter Daps have it. Damn right, Dexter Daps. So Dexter Daps have it. Right? Dexter Daps have it. Weakness number 2. Intensity can become monotonous. It's very intense. But guess what? That doesn't mean that he's boring. That doesn't mean that he's boring. And where this come from was the people who say him flap. I was able to pull out what it is that they mean. And really and truly, it's just 4 people I talk to still. But it's 4 very different people. Right? Not boring. Monotonous is different. There's an important distinction. Right? Let me tell you. Monotonous means that he needed emotional temperature. Right? Monotonous in emotional temperature. What does that mean? Massika tends to remain serious, controlled, intense, and focused. That's fine. But you see, for a long concert, you see, for like an arena, you need intensity 9, then drop to 4, then 6, then 10, then 3, then 8, then 10. Not 8, 8, 8, 8, 9, 8. No, an arena needs contrast. That's why even in every art, them always say the best movies will make you laugh and cry in the same movie. You look at all of them: Forrest Gump, Fried Green Tomatoes, any of your favorite movies. It make you laugh, cry, and think in one movie. Why? It brings you on a journey as the audience. You're on a roller coaster. You're on a journey with the artist. Massika should have showed more of this because him have the emotional range and him have the songs for it. Weakness number 3, he doesn't yet maximize the silence. Listen, this is something that frustrates me about Massika. And all it is skill. It's something that him can learn and practice. It have nothing to do with him talent. Maximize silence. Silence is one of the most important tools you can use. A regular artist will think, oh, sound equals control. I have to keep filling the silence. I have to keep talking. No. Elite artists understand silence can demonstrate even more control. You see, when them pause and them give attitude and the whole place respond, you think about Ninja Man, that was extended. But all of those artists that I told you about, them use it very well. Imagine this. I want you to imagine with me, okay? Think of it. All right, let's go there. Golden Girls. Remember Golden Girls? Remember when Sophia used to say, picture it. And she tell you a story? I want you to picture it right now. Imagine this. Massika stopped the music. The Barclays quiet. He said one line. And thousands of people answer it. That is power. He doesn't need to chase Elephant Man's kinetic energy. I'm talking about moving energy. He don't need to chase that. He needs to develop his own form of dominance. That's what I've been saying the whole time. Massika may currently be stronger in 15 to 25 minute sets. It's true. It might sound harsh, but I want you to look at all his performances. Even look at when he accompanied Bounty Killer on his show. It's not a negative thing. It's not a negative thing. Some performers are sprinters before they become marathon runners. It's just a fact. Massika's concentration of major records inside 15-25 minutes, that can be devastating. Right? It can lift up everything. Very little downtime. No opportunity for repetition. Maximum lyrical intensity. But a headline set for 70 minutes, that asks for something completely different. 95 minutes. That asks for something completely different. Pacing. Listen to me. You cannot perform at 100% intensity for 70 minutes. That is monotonous and that is madness, and you'll be a crazy person. One Queen Africa, big up yourself. Imhotep 360. That's right. Lack of confidence, Miss Julia. I don't think it's lack of confidence. It's lack of, as I said, it need the training. It need to know, say, him can get better. Them need to pinpoint where him can get better, and they need to focus on that. Right? Dr. Ramba say, Breath of Life album, nice, very touching album from the... Yes, it is. I listened to it twice. Yes, it is. Anyway, pacing. Listen, you can't perform 100% intensity for 70 minutes. Even when you do a marathon run, you ever talk to marathon trainers? They know when to go slow. They know when to trot. They know when to speed up. Why? It's a management of energy. You need the theatrical valleys. Why? Because you need the peaks. You cannot have a peak without a valley. Even in physics. You need the acoustic segments. There was no band, but still. You need the storytelling. Like even rolling in the album at that time would have been great storytelling. You need the relationship sections. It means you need some more woman songs. You need to show the narrative. You need to show the progress. Like I can even show you the narrative of that show that could have been. Even from all in previous albums to tie it in together. He needed more visual changes. The band interludes, no band, but audience interaction, wanted more of that. He had the surprises. That is the next skill that Massika needs, the pacing. Right? Now we're going to go into the 7 hats framework. Okay? For every performer, my well-thinking Fire Nation, you want to ask 7 different questions. I want you to get into the practice, Fire Nation, wherever you come from, whichever camp you come from, even if you're not from our camp. I want you to put on the different hats, and I want you to learn to start to think from the other side of the chessboard. I always say it. Because why? These hats produce completely different conclusions. No, let me explain. Let me say this. This is why I want you to get used to thinking about an artist career from different business hats. Let me say this. A fan of Massika will listen and watch the show differently than the promoter. They will watch the show differently than a less of a fan of than Massika. They'll watch the show differently than somebody on Massika's team. They'll watch the show differently and look at the album differently and the songs differently than somebody who is a Massika hater or somebody who is a neutral. It's just a fact. So we want to look at the artist career from the different business hats. Now, we're going to go into the hat and what that hat is actually judging. All right, good. If you're a performance critic, what are you thinking? Who actually performed best that night? A lot of people said to me, the people who said Massika flop and Elephant carried the show, them say that Elephant performed the best that night. I don't, as I said to you again, right? It's a matter of placement. And we're going to go into why. The promoter, if you have on your promoter hat, what is the promoter actually judging? Did this artist improve the event? Not just for Massika. I'm talking about all the other artists, them Vanessa Bling, Elephant Man, Swiss Beats. Did this artist actually improve the event? That's what a promoter is thinking. Massika's manager, though, Massika's manager is thinking, did this artist make Massika look bigger, or did it make Massika look smaller? Because why? Massika's manager is concerned about Massika's career. So I'm going to look at the whole performance and the whole stage show differently. Now, the international business person, if they have on their hat, they're going to say, did this prove that Massika have touring value? I don't know. Let's see. Did this prove that him have the commercial value? The creative director, what are they thinking or what they're supposed to be thinking? Was this person placed correctly for the show? Dancehall politics, what does that say? Then we'll ask, what did the appearance communicate culturally? Talk about Vanessa Bling here. That's dancehall politics. Then we're going to say, she never appeared for us that and cow fat, but she appeared for this. What is she trying to communicate culturally? See what I'm saying? It's there, people. We have to look at it. Even if you don't like to look at it, you have to look at it because it's there. Stop hiding from things and just looking at what you like. That's not how growth happen. A paying fan was a paying fan. Like Imhotep went there. A paying fan would say, did I get more value for my money because this person appeared? Or did he bring down the show? Now, the promoter had the whole show. From the promoter's perspective, bringing out high-powered guests makes enormous sense. So from the promoter's perspective, bringing out an elephant man, bringing out a Tyrus, bringing out all it makes sense. You know why? Right? The promoter is not thinking about how do I make Massika look good? How do I make Massika look good? No. The promoter is thinking, how do I keep thousands of people entertained for the entire night? The promoter is not working as a part of Massika's team or what is best for Massika. Yes, them want the show, but guess what? The promoter wants to make her money back. So she have a different priority. I'm not saying that she want Massika to look bad. Of course not. Because that will in turn make her look bad. But her bottom line is, how do I keep thousands of people entertained for the night? Not how do I make Massika look good? Those are different responsibilities. The promoter wants maximum excitement. They want satisfied ticket buyers. They want viral moments. They want strong reputation. They want a next successful event. That's what the promoter wants. Massika's team, though, they should want, yes, maximum excitement, but with Massika remaining the psychological center of that excitement. Massika's team wants Massika to remain the psychological center of that excitement. Those goals, yes, they overlap. Of course they do, but they're not identical. Stop mix up the two of them. That's why I say I don't need to break down things properly. Here's the central question. Did Reggae Fest produce the best possible concert or the best possible Massika concert? Those are two different things. Those are not the same things. Now, the promoter hat looking at Elephant Man. They must see him as an A plus booking. You know why? Elephant Man, every promoter knows this. Elephant Man is an energy insurance policy. Artists like him, you call them an energy insurance policy. Why? Because if the room drops, put on Elephant Man. You need movement, elephant. You need recognizable classics, elephant. Find the signal playing, right? You need everybody standing up, elephant. You need intergenerational recognition. This was very smart. Actually, that's why I say Elephant Man should still be on the show. It's just a matter of where and how. Listen to me, people. When you hear people say, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's the same thing in art. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. And when you do it, timing is everything. Intergenerational recognition. They had that with Elephant Man because a different generation. And he was basically telling Massika that, you know what, youth, you're good enough for me to even appear on your stage. Even though a lot of people say, oh, him a look back in career, it doesn't matter. You can't take away what he has accomplished. Elephant. From the promoter's perspective, for the health of the show, Elephant Man is gold, 100% gold. But now the performance critic hat, A.A. plus. If we are judging energy, movement, crowd participation, the physicality, the call and response, the instant engagement, the dance integration, the stage movement, Elephant Man is extremely difficult for Massika to follow. It's just a different type of artist. Now, Elephant Man with the Massika manager hat. If I was Massika's manager, the grades change. You know why? Because it's a strategic risk. I put him as B- to C-. Not because Elephant is bad, because he's too good at one particular thing that Massika is not naturally dominant at. That is the irony. He is very, very good at that thing that Massika does not have, which is okay because Massika don't need to have it because a different type of artist. But if you put them right too close together, it's going to highlight it. That is what I'm saying. We need to put the artists in better positions when them do arenas. Elephant can potentially take from the performance peak, and a lot of people, that was their problem. Them say, and even, you know what, even after Crux said that he had the performance peak, but what them say after that, them say, but the show was still good, the show wicked, man, the show sell out, the show that, yes, you enjoyed the show, the promoter did our job, but we need to talk about how it could have been better for Massika, to highlight Massika, because it's his moment. You do not wear a white dress to another woman's wedding. Anybody show up at my wedding in a white dress, I'm throwing a bucket of wine on you. Red wine too, not white. Because you're going to be living in a red dress. It's real talk. Elephant can potentially take the performance peak. That makes him an excellent entertainment booking. So the promoter did our job to keep the show interest. But guess what? It's a dangerous headliner position in booking simultaneously. Both can be true. And it's not a matter of don't have him on the show. It's a matter of where and how. And we're going to break it down. Now, we talked about the energy graph before on Imhotep's platform. Everybody go and check out Imhotep's platform, please. Here it is visually. So for the visual learners, imagine this is what happened to me. Massika came out 60, let's say 60, right? Then I'm not talking about 60% of his skill. That's not what I'm saying. Talking about the energy range. Now, Massika come out 60. Then Elephant Man 100. Then Elephant leave. Then Massika returns 62. Massika returns stronger than he left, than he came in the beginning, you know. Massika actually returns slightly stronger. But psychologically to the audience, the 62 now feels like 50. Why? Because it was too close to the 100. The audience reference points change. Reference points matter. You need the audience nervous system to recycle. It's just a fact. So I'm going to show you the difference. No, it's called the contrast effect. What is the contrast effect? Say it this way. You put a good singer after a mediocre singer. Like I was saying on the platform yesterday. You put a good singer after a mediocre singer. The good sounds excellent. You put the same singer, that good singer, after Celine Dion. The good singer sound ordinary. The performer didn't change. The context changed. Your frame of reference changed. That is why artist placement is an art. We have to be careful of our artist placement. Also, Elephant Man communicates faster. Massika requires attention. Yes. You know why? You think about Massika's songs, they require attention. Right? Where his brilliance lives in his song is wordplay, his cadence, the construction of the song, the storytelling, the rhyming, and the voice control. Elephant Man's brilliance, it hits you physically. When him say move, you move. Jump, you jump. Therefore, inside of an arena, such a big space, Elephant Man's energy communicates faster and more intense than Massika. That is dangerous when placed inside the center of a headliner show without the proper reset. You need the proper reset. This is why a lot of people say, Elephant Man thief the show, and Massika flop. Compare him to Elephant Man. Elephant Man show him how it was done. No, it's not a matter of that. There are two different type of artists, right? Yes, he had some things when he was cracking, and yes, he was out of breath at some point. You can work on that, right? But a lot of it had to do with the placement of it. Massika should not try to become Elephant Man. Do not confuse what I'm saying. This is critical. The answer is not, Massika needs to dance more. No. Massika cannot beat Elephant Man at being Elephant Man. It's ridiculous. Massika can't beat Elephant Man at being Elephant Man. So don't compete in this category. That's foolish. Instead, Elephant Man is kinetic dominance, the movement. Massika needs his cinematic dominance because they're different type of artists. He need the darkness. He need the voice. He need the bass. He need the narrative. He need the screens. He need the atmosphere. He need the suspense. He need the precision. He need the storytelling. He need that authority. He need to make his difference intentional. It's just like how I just went through the slide a while ago and tell you, I can tell you the difference between Elephant Man What you going to get with a Bounty Killer? What you going to get with a Beanie Man? You know what you going to get with a Vibes Cartel? You know what you going to get with a Mr. Vegas? This is what I'm saying. Massika need him own thing. He needs to develop that. This is how I believe Elephant Man should have been used. Right? You're really good with the music theory. Yeah, I did. I did that well, I didn't do music theory in school. I did theater, TV, and film at Howard. And I had to practice and we had to know all of these things. And I did stage designing too. I worked with Debbie Allen on our show Pearl. I had to learn a lot very fast. And Denise Saunders Thompson, before she was Denise Saunders Thompson, she was Denise Saunders. You can look her up. I've worked with her significantly throughout my tenure, right? And my own performance as well. So yeah, music theory, and I've been knowing music since I was like a girl. I used to study piano. I have to know all of those stuff. And I got a lot of shows. It's just an interest and a love of mine. So when you love something, you get interested, you study it, right? Now, this is how Elephant Man should have been used. Imagine this, Fire Nation. Massika performs a hard section. Imagine this. Massika perform a hard section. Then him introduce the dancehall history. Lights change. Elephant Man emerge. 10 minutes of insanity from Elephant Man. Elephant leaves. Everything goes black. Then you see a documentary style video. Massika's voice. Then him talk about the struggle. 438 and him career. Then there's a massive instrumental introduction. You just hear some holy music or one of the bigger forward them from one of them song them from 438. Then Massika re-enter the stage from a different location, maybe stage left or stage right. Boom. Guess what? Now Elephant Man has an upstage Massika. Elephant Man became Act 2 of the Massika movie. That is the creative direction that we need for the genre. That would have been so effective. That would have given me goosebumps through the screen. Elephant Man should never be followed by normal Massika. You cannot have Elephant Man, 100% madness, dancing, crowd screaming, movement, then immediately Massika walk back out and perform a regular song. That's why people say him flop. The audience nervous system, even through the screen, has not reset. Massika needs a visual reset. Band solo, wardrobe change, dramatic entrance, a monster record, new stage position. Something that communicates that we are entering the next act. Otherwise, it feels like as if Massika dropped the energy. And he didn't. He came out with more intensity than when he came out first. But because of that 100 in between and so close, that is what happened. Listen to me. Here is a rule for a headliner concert, especially with an arena, something as big as that. The headliner must own the peaks. The headliner must own the energy peaks. Every concert have mini peaks. That's fine. But the peak, the guests can own the mini peaks. They should not own the peak for people to actually be saying to me, no, in flop, Elephant show him how it was done, blah, blah, blah. It's not a matter of flop. There are different type of artists. Massika have something to improve. Yes, that's true, but the placement of the creative direction did not help him. If the biggest crowd reaction, the biggest viral clip, the most talk about forward and performance belong to guests, yes, the concert might have succeed. Everybody happy, everybody entertained. But the headliner branding was less successful than the concert. That can happen. The headliner branding can be less successful than the actual concert. Happens all the time. Ding dong, promoter hat. Excellent. Why? I give him my A. Why? Him have the dance, participation, the current relevance, Jamaican culture. Him have songs that people can physically participate in, get the people moving. Unlike another lyrical DJ, Ding Dong does not compete directly with Massika's greatest strength or weakness because he's not as energetic as Elephant Man, right? But that makes him potentially safer than Elephant Man. It's just a fact. He is potentially safer than Elephant Man, right? Good. Because don't compete directly with Massika. It's the same thing with Swiss Beats, but we're going to go into that. Massika manager hat, I give my A- to B+. Why is clever pairing? It was. Massika is lyrics plus seriousness plus street authority. Ding dong, dance, movement, and fun. They occupy different lanes. Therefore, Ding Dong can provide something Massika shows needs without necessarily challenging Massika's artistic identity. That is a good guest booking. Now, there was a problem with the Ding Dong and Elephant Man now. Two of them together create a problem. Ding Dong plus Elephant Man introduces another risk. Because why? People think with me. Think. Remember. And after this, go back and watch the show again. If you love the artist, what? May watch it 3.5 times. Why you can't watch it again? Go watch it again. And listen to what I'm saying and see if I'm right. Or see if I'm wrong. If you're really curious to know and curious to learn, go back with what you learned today, play back this live, and look at that concert again. For the naysayers as well as for the ones who lifting them up. For both parties. Now you could probably say maybe him never really flop, maybe, yes, him have the break control thing, yes, him crack at that part, but maybe him never really flop. Maybe it's true. Like maybe it's the way or it was positioned. Positioning, as his position is an art in itself, people. That's why creative directors get the big bucks. Even in advertising agencies, creative directors get the big bucks. So, right now you have two artists whose greatest weapon is physical crowd activation. If those sections are placed too close together, the audience begins to expect movement, dancing, interaction, and energy. Why? The two artists then placed too close together. Why would they place Ding Dong so close to Elephant Man? Then Massika's serious lyrical performance come after that. You know what that feel? Like a slowdown. It's placement. So a lot of people who's saying that it was the best show in the world, they're not looking at why they think that it was the best show in the world. A lot of people who feel like, oh, it was the worst show in the world. Let's look at why it was the worst show in the world. Let's look at why, people. Let's not just take things as face value and leave no room for improvement. Let's actually do the thinking and the work. Even out here chatting off in the mouth, then spend some time and think. Swim deeper. Again, nothing is wrong with Massika. The architecture changed how the audience judges him. It's fact. The architecture changed how the audience would judge him. Now, I-Octane, the promoter, had to give him a B. Why? Solid nostalgia. Him show the catalog diversification. I-Octane represents a different era and a strand of dancehall reggae. So he brings the catalog recognition and the 2010 dancehall memory. So that was good for a show. The promoter did our job. No, for the Massika manager hat, I give him a B-. Why? He's relatively safe. Him recognizable enough to increase the concert value, but him unlikely to completely change the narrative into I-Octane stole Massika show. That was not going to happen. So he's a high value, low displacement guest. Him have low risk, right? So you know what? Let me not give him a B-. I give him a B, right? Managers love those. Why? You're a high value of guest. You're not going to make my artist feel displaced, right? Nothing that you can do is going to make his position look any weaker. So managers love those type of guests. Tyrus Riley, the promoter hat, A. Why? Listen, that was so brilliant to choose Tyrus Riley. Tyrus Riley, but he could have been used better. We're going to go into that. Tyrus Riley changed the musical texture. He sure did. Miss Jacob, big up yourself. Big up yourself, sister. Good to see you, queen. Good to see you, Miss Jacobs. Good to see you. A queen among women. Big up yourself. Guhu said, that's why I implore dancehall artists to invest in a vocal coach and music here before. Yeah, and you know what, Guchu? The dancehall artists need to cross-pollinate too. And the dancehall lovers too. They need to go to other people's type of concerts. Right? And see a real production. And find out what works and find out why it is that where are we lacking for such a good product that we have. Right? Now, the creative director hat. Where was I? Right. Tyrus Riley, him changed the musical texture of the whole thing. I really appreciated him being there. Why? Him give the reggae, the vocals, the musicianship, maturity, the international recognition. He prevented the concert from becoming hardcore dancehall, hardcore dancehall, hardcore dancehall. That is good programming. As again, the promoter Hats off to you, promoter. Right? The creative director hat, I'll give him my A. Minor A if placed correctly. It wasn't placed correctly in a lot of ways for me. It was placed okay, but it could have been used more of a valley. I'm going to tell you why. Here it is. Terrace Riley should be used as the valley. Great concerts, again, they're not 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. No, they're 8, 10, 5, 7, 10. That's what it is. Why? Because you're taking the audience on an emotional journey. All art does that. Again, look at your favorite movies. Forrest Gump, right? Fried Green Tomatoes, The Matrix. There's different levels of emotion that they pull out to you in different scenes. Keeps you interactive. Tyros provides an opportunity to move emotionally. Melody, reggae, singing, the lights change, the crowd breathes. Then you rebuild. That is excellent concert architecture. The Massika manager hat, if I have that on and I see Tyros, I'm going to give him an A. Why? Because Tyros does not force Massika into an energy competition, especially because of the placement. It's a different lane, different generation, different musical strength. That is exactly what you want as a manager. Swiss Beats, performance hat. Do not primarily ask, did Swiss outperform Massika? That is irrelevant because its value is different. International business hat, A. Swiss Beats, what did he provide from being there? American hip hop credibility, the industry optics matter. Politics, remember I told you a lot of these things is politics because money is changing hands. So politics is always going to be involved. You can blind an eye to it and think that you live in a gumdrop and Skittles world as much as you want. And then ball and say, the politics, they might fight me. Yeah, there's money being exchanged. There's going to be politics. Learn the game or get the hell out. Just a fact. So Swiss Beats provide industry optics. Network signaling. Basically, I'm showing that, yeah, you know what? The American artist is in good to work with. Network signaling, international photographs, American media, and social possibilities. That's what him being there on the stage signify. Remember, there are other people watching. It's not just, listen to me. One of the things our stage show is just for the fans and people buying tickets. No, it's for the future. It's for booking agents to see, can he carry our arena by himself with him and bands and probably 2 guests? Can he do that? Every time when you perform on stage, there is an agent looking that could possibly come and sign you, or not even sign you, but give you other opportunities. So he's not just performing for the guests, he's performing for future opportunity as well, and people and showing that he's actually a good, it will actually make back your money. Swiss Beats also provides the connections, the celebrity validation. You still need that, even though he is who he is. His presence tells people outside of Jamaican dancehall, this isn't only an insular Caribbean event. And that matters. It matters for the festival. Massika's management hat, A for Swiss Beats. Potentially one of the biggest and one of the best guests strategically. Why? Why, Miss Julia? Why, Miss Bluefire? Why? Because Swiss's celebrity enhances Massika without creating the same who perform better problem. No, that is ideal. His fame transfers value. Because saying like, oh, big Swiss Beats in dealings with Massika, that's great. Right? But he doesn't compete for dancehall headliner supremacy. He doesn't. It's a different lane. For the international promoter hat, when you have that on, imagine, say you are not Jamaican now. Just imagine. Think with me. You are not Jamaican. You are an international promoter. Watching from London. You're watching from Paris. You're watching from Europe, Manchester. Guess what you're asking? Can Massika maintain audience attention without constant rescue? What does that mean? Without the energy clutches from the other artists. Can he do that? We didn't get to see that. We needed to get to see that. I'm not saying that he can't do it. But what I'm saying is the lineup and how it was lined up did not give the opportunity to show this to an international promoter. because they cannot tell that him have 75 minutes of material. They couldn't tell, right, that he could maintain the audience attention without the other guests. So Fire Nation and people who love music and people who genuinely love stage shows, I want you to think for yourself and in a future generation, how many guests are too many guests for a headliner event? This is something that we need to figure out. Why do we need 10 man? Do we only need 2? Do we only need the amount of people that can fit in a taxi? These are questions we need to ask if we want the genre to grow, if we want to really be thinkers on this YouTube streets and not just people that just shut off their mouth and hating on people. Right? Can he transition moves? That's what the international promoter is looking at that show and thinking. Can he transition the moves himself? He can, him have the material. Can he command silence? We need to see that more. You need to practice that. Can he create emotional peaks himself? We need to see that more. He can do that to your personality. Can he recover from a slow section? Does he know how to pace himself? Again, Massika's best shows, look at his career. Massika's best shows are sprints. And he's good at it. But does he know how to pace himself for a marathon? Can he communicate with non-Jamaican audiences? Yes, he can. That's one of his gifts. Can he own a physically large stage? Owning a physically large stage don't mean say him have to be jumping up and down and doing all type of acid and comfort and foolishness now. Owning it is presence and dominance. Can he sell the expensive seats? I would say he can. Can he create premium VIP value? I would say yes. Can he deliver repeatable production? This is the thing. This is what an international promoter is looking at when they're looking at the show. So, dancehall people, I want you guys to start to think, as I said, from the different hats, because it will show you the different things that are important to an artist and to the genre actually growing. Because different people at the same show want different things because they have different priorities. Massika's team, his priority is different than the promoter's team, the promoter of the show's priorities, completely different. Some of them might interlap. Yes, that doesn't mean the promoter don't want what's best for Massika. I never said that. She's there to make back her money. She's there to make sure that she get reused. She's there to make sure that she put on a great event. She's there to make sure that the guests are happy and they're entertained. That's a different priority than Massika's team, which is to make sure that your artist remains the headliner and on the pedestal, and the other artists, right, support and highlight his strengths. And create future business with potential international people. International business assessment of Massika. Recording artist, I give him A to a B+. Why? Massika is highly exportable. He have a modern sound. He have a distinct voice and don't sound like other people. Right? He have strong songwriting. We cannot go around it. That's why Cartel even bigged them up in the first place. He have a credible image. Him have major label infrastructure. You can't go around that. Guess what? Him have cross-border collaboration potential. Why? You haven't heard anybody complain about working with Massika. It's just a fact. Right? Yes, there's a lot of things that go on, the people can see a lot of things, and stuff that go. I don't get involved in that mess. What I'm saying is legitimate complaints like thieving people money or not showing up to work or being a lazy performer. Him not have that. And him already have cross-border collaboration. And him have the Def Jam. So the collaboration potential is very, very good. So this is the international business assessment of Massika, the recording artist. Again, I said recording artist. The catalog is growing internationally. Yes. Commercially, very attractive proposition. Very attractive. Though, he need to increase him catalog and have some more girl songs. International live act, I give him a B-, and I'm going to tell you why. He's very capable. And I was seeing it to the screen, and it's not just me. I'm talking about the haters or the people who are naysayers as well as the people who loved it. Very capable. But he's still developing into a 360-degree headliner. Let me tell you why. Go and watch a Pink set. Go and watch a Beyonce set. Go and watch a Pharrell show. Go and watch a You know, so Jay-Z is not even, Jay-Z is good enough. Him use a lot of personality and silence as well. Right? Who else? Show was Ludacris. Ludacris is like a sprinter too, in a lot of ways. Who else had stand out to me? Cranberries. Jesus Christ. If you know the Cranberries, right? The Cranberries show. Oh my God. And Dolores died, I think 3 or 4 years ago. Right? You know Cranberries, the one that sing, in your head, they are fighting. That song, right? In your head. That one. We got to increase our reference point if we're going to compete on the global stage. I want us to start looking at other shows and seeing the potential of dancehall. We need to be able to see it because our artists have the potential and them have the talent, and other people are using our potential and getting rich off of it. A 360-degree headliner gives you music, personality, visual identity, theater, story, movement, crowd participation, emotion, spontaneity, memorable imagery. Massika currently gives you extraordinary amounts of music, of the music. The other dimensions have not completely caught up. Why? Because he has been a big fish in a small pond. It's just a fact. Him doing the clubs, him doing the festivals, Massika is bigger than that. But you see, when you're a big fish in a small pond, guess what? You don't grow. Because if you grow, it's dangerous to you. Because you can die. It's just a fact. A big fish in a small pond. But guess what? You need to be in a bigger pond with bigger fish. So you can swim more. You can swim faster. You can look at the bigger fish and say, I wonder if I can grow into that. You have more room to grow and to space and to see. You've been a big fish in a small pond. You never realize your potential. That's why we need exposure. Now, let's go into the major label Def Jam hat. If I am the label, I am not asking, did Massika shell the place? I don't care. I am asking, what did we learn from this? What did we learn from his performance? What did we learn? Let's give it some notes. Let's give us some notes. Big up Tuggy Fats. Bless up Miss Julia. Big up DL Tarcher. Anyway, I'll deal with that afterwards. What did we learn? Here is note 1. His songs work. He needs more in catalog, especially women songs. It's just a fact. That's excellent, actually. Guess why? Because that's the hardest part. If your songs them don't work, you just stick to fish fry. His songs work. That's excellent. Even though he needs some more women songs. Note number 2. He has real core audience equity. People know what does that mean, Julia? He has real core audience equity. What does core audience equity mean? People know the records. People know him song them. They were singing along with it. He's not simply being manufactured by a label like some of them pop artists there. We don't know them songs. Them just manufactured by a label. So guess what? That's good. Note number 3. He can exist in a large venue without looking lost. It's true. Some artists, you put them in a large venue, them look like somebody from the crowd. It's very important. Many artists who look enormous in a club, them shrink visually inside of an arena. Massika does not disappear, which is positive. Note number 4. He needs to build a proper tour show now. And I hope the people on his team is listening. Build a proper tour show now. Stop treating performances like festival set plus more songs. No, we need to think bigger. Build a Massika show package. We need a creative director, the musical director, the lighting director, choreography, blocking. You need some blocking. Blocking means where you move on the stage when, for what song, right? Stage designer, video designer, show caller, production rehearsals. Note number 5, do not use the guests as energy crutches. Guests are great, yes. The promoter won't care about this. You know why? Because the guests as energy crushes just make the shows better. But guess what? For the Massika's management team, guests are great, but a headline act needs to demonstrate unassisted command. This is the problem here. You see, Def Jam now, them looking at what did we learn? The headline act, it needs to demonstrate unassisted command. And a lot of the international promoters or international opportunities would probably be thinking, well, we're not too sure if he can actually carry the 90 minutes by himself with just 2 other performers and a band. Even though the show went well, even though the show was good, people are happy. These are the things that people are considering. And I'm talking about the money for our music. Unassisted command. What do you mean, Miss Julia? Eventually, industry people need to know this. Can Massika satisfy an arena with Massika, band, and production? And maybe 2 guests. If yes, guess what? His guarantee increases. His touring economics change. It's just a fact. Look at even, guys, that's why legacy touring is so important. His guarantee, this is his money. This is your artist growing. This is your artist representing Jamaica. His guarantee increases. His touring economic changes. You know, oh, K-Man love Vibes Cartel. Can I tell you? Can I tell you? Chief of police and all the people who know. At first, them was all worried because them all security everywhere because them still have this thing in the back of them mind about Jamaican music and dancehall audience. Them was all happy afterwards. You know how much money Cayman make, and Cayman dollar is higher than the US dollar. Right? And that wasn't an arena. I know that, but that's not the point. The point is what I'm saying. Unassisted command is important for opportunity. Because guess why? The promoters is less money they have to spend for have other artists for help carry the show. It's just a fact. And as the label, you want your artist to be on the pedestal. Now, here's the guest performer paradox. We're almost done. Guests are supposed to elevate your concert, just like your bridesmaid supposed to elevate your wedding. They're not supposed to be in white dress and showing cleavage. Anybody come to your wedding in a white dress, fling some red wine on them. Every great guest creates comparison. It's true. If 3 guests come on and each raise their energy higher than the headline artist did immediately before them, subconsciously, the audience will start to think, why did the show become more exciting when somebody else arrived? This was one of the biggest notes from the people who same flop. And yes, we need to listen to them. And yes, we need to listen to the people who say it was the most wonderful thing since sliced bread. And we need to break down why and explain to them why they think that. Don't just take answers as face value. Why did the show become more exciting when somebody else arrived? A lot of it has to do with placement. A lot of it has to be doing the wrong pairing. That is dangerous. The headline artist should ideally be the ceiling of the night. Guests can create spikes. Of course, Elephant Man cannot create a spike. But when the headliner returns, he must reclaim the authority of the event. He must reclaim the energy authority of the event. And the way how you do it, since them want to break up the show like that, how them break up the show, which was not ideal for Massika. I'm going to explain to you why. Right? They could have had it. They could have make it cinematic so that he reclaim authority. And I told you how. Right? Now, also, what I didn't like when Massika start looking like a horse. Too many separate guests can accidentally turn Massika's concert into Massika present his friends. That is a completely different power dynamic. And this is one of the notes that I heard from one of the people who people say they're hating. But what them say actually makes sense. I can see what them saying. Listen to me. The headliner becomes give it up for, or big up my friend, my brother, or come out my brother, or respect my brother, or the next artist is this. What? Eventually, Massika starts functioning like an MC and a performer. No, baby. No. You're not supposed to be serving food at your wedding. What's going on here? Instead of the sovereign center of the production. These are little things. The devils are in the details. Sometimes just take a little turn and the whole thing work. Now, why breaking up Massika's set is so important. The way how they broke it up did not help him. There are essentially two ways to construct a headline concert, and I want you guys to look it up and educate yourself on this. There's model A and model B. Model A is them have the opening act, the guest, then the headliner uninterrupted for 60 to 90 minutes for them journey, and it closes. That is closer to the conventional international touring model. A matter of fact, Vibes Cartel and Gully God did that. There was opening acts. The guest, Queen Africa was a guest too, right? Then the headliners, them come out uninterrupted for 60 to 90 minutes for that journey. That is closer to the conventional international touring model. Look it up if you don't believe me. Then there's model B, which is what him use, which was Massika, guess, Massika, guess, Massika, guess, Massika. That is closer to a dancehall stage show culture. That is what, when we see that, I say, why are they creating a dancehall stage show in an arena? This does not help the artist. Culturally, there is nothing wrong with that. Yes, Massika guess, Massika guess, Massika guess, fine. That's a dancehall stage show. That's our culture, fine. But internationally, it creates a perception risk. You think everybody know how dancehall show go? Is it them care? They want to know if him can carry another arena for 90 minutes by himself. They want to know if him can actually carry the audience and carry the show. The show did not show that. Let me look at the chat. DL tried to say girl songs weak. He needs some more girl song. His catalog weak. His catalog is not weak, but it can be better. Big up Miss Julie. I love. Hi, Mr. Lawrence. Big up yourself, Mr. Lawrence. Good to see you. All love for you too. Big up Ciroc Music. Big up yourself, Miss Julie. Big up yourself, Ciroc. Good to see you. Always good to see you when you pass by in Ciroc. Bless up yourself. Big up to the chat, definitely. Facts, DJ Rambo, definitely. Right? It's just facts. I want you guys to look at these things. Now, here's the psychological problem with breaking the set. Why them should not choose this? That is what, in everything, that is what pissed me off. That's what so we look at shows and things differently. The psychological problem with breaking the set. When the headliner first appears, the brain says, yes, the main event starts. Massika come. If Massika leaves and another artist performs a separate high-powered segment, the brain resets. Now we are watching another show. When Massika returns, he has to establish the main event feeling again. That's a lot of work for him to do. When he's supposed to be the headliner, he's supposed to be, by the creative direction, he's supposed to be put automatically on the pedestal, and he was not. So a lot of people will say that him flop, and a lot of it had to do with the creative direction too. Yes, there were things that him could work on, the breath control, and like say he was cracking in something. And when it come on to the audience interaction and in personality, showing who him is, yes, those things are skills. They can be learned. It's not talent. Him have the talent. But this is a lot of work for him to do. If that happens repeatedly, Massika isn't carrying a continuous headline concert. He's re-entering a variety show. That is the difference. Now, breaking the set actually destroys the narrative momentum as well. A proper headline set should have an arc. And like imagine a movie. Massika begins, right? So you have the struggle. Then you have the rise. Then you talk about the woman. Then you talk about success. Then you talk about the conflict. Then talk about the triumph. Then talk about the legacy. Him have the albums. Him have the material for it. And halfway through, someone paused the movie and says, oh, no, here's Elephant Man. Elephant Man might be phenomenal. But guess what? The Massika story has stopped. Now we have energy dancers. We have movement. We have crowd madness. Then, okay, back to Massika. No. Emotionally, Massika has to start another chapter from zero. This is what you guys did this is what the creative director did to the artist. I want you guys to listen to what I'm saying and go watch the show again, and you can see exactly what I'm saying. Why Bounty? And I put Bounty's Barclays guest strategy right here because it functioned differently. Now, Bounty show also had major guests. Yes. But guess what? It's Bounty Killer. Guess what that means? There was a built-in hierarchy. Many of the people exist somewhere inside of Bounty's historical ecosystem. Therefore, you see, when other artists appear, it reinforces Bounty's legacy. Okay, so when a young artist appear, it feel like generational succession, right? When like a veteran appear, it feel like a veteran healing up another veteran. When Bounty returns, the story is still about Bounty. The guests at his show, they function like supporting characters in his biography. That's what it function. Go and look at Bounty's show again. The guests function like supporting characters, which is what they're supposed to do. The main character, the main character energy is supposed to be the headliner. That is sophisticated guest integration. Massika does not yet have that advantage. I'm sorry to tell you. If Elephant Man performs at a veteran's legend show like Bounty Killer, you can read it as a veteran saluting a veteran. If Elephant Man performs inside Massika's landmark headline arena moment and then invisibly lift the room, and then the creative director don't even give you a reset to make Massika's dominant show, you know what the audience is going to interpret it as? Oh, the veteran showed up the younger headliner. Him show him how to perform. It might be unfair, people. It might be unfair, but guess what? Entertainment perception is not always fair. That's why it is an art to stage direction. Now, again, the guest must serve as the headliner story. This is the principle. Not who is another popular artist we can bring, right? Instead, what role does this artist perform in Massika's story? That should determine the placement. A guest should expand the headliner's universe, not take it over, not replace it. And listen to me, I want to say something, because this is something that I see people messing up. Energy management is not the same thing as energy maximization. Energy maximization is Elephant Man. Massika needs some energy management. Promoters can sometimes think every section should get hotter. No. A great concert, it needs the valleys. Go, even a Mariah Carey concert, my God. I haven't been to one in years, but she knows peaks and valleys. Same thing with Celine Dion. Without a valley, there is no peak. When Celine Dion come out and sing, I'm alive, and the whole place lift up, and then she take us down to, what was her famous valley? What she used to do? What's that song? I forget. Anyway, and then she take us all the way back up again, right? In the eyes of a boy or the eyes of a child, right? Elephant Man can create a 10. He does. You do not need Massika to immediately create an 11. No, that's not Massika. What you need to do is create 10, Elephant Man, then blackout, then 3, then tension, then 6, then 8, then Massika back at 10. Now Massika owns the peak. Right? Now we're going to go into the promoter view versus the Massika view. This is why we cannot automatically blame the promoter for the guest-heavy architecture. Listen, she did her job. Her job is not to make Massika look the best. Her job is to make sure that people are entertained and them talk about it and there's a good show. These are facts. Ask her yourself, everybody who know her. The strategy may have worked very effectively for the promoter. Let's break it down. Question: the promoter's hat, Massika's team. The question: did the crowd enjoy itself? The promoter, that is most important to her. Did the crowd enjoy itself? Massika's team is very important, yes, but it's not most important. Question: did guests perform well? Promoter, that is an excellent question. Massika's team, it depends. Because Massika's team is about the shine of Massika and creating opportunities for Massika from that show. Did Elephant Man steal the segment? The promoter, great content. They don't care. Massika's team, that's a potential problem, buddy. Did the guests create all the viral moments or the most viral moments? The promoter, that's fantastic. A great show. Massika's team, that's fine. If Massika remains the center, this is Massika's wedding, Massika's show. Did people buy tickets? The promoter, that is very critical. Massika's team, that's also critical. Question: did the audience leave praising Massika? The promoter, that's a good question. Either near or there. Then she wants her own praise for the show. Massika's team, that is critical. That's a critical question. Question: can Formula sell next Reggae Fest? Promoter, that's critical. To Massika's team, that's less important. I don't give a damn if you sell in the next Reggae Fest. Are we on it or not? These are just facts. Can Massika tour arenas independently? That is the question. The promoter, that's a bonus for her. But Massika's team, that is the crux. That is the business question. Did this show that Massika can tour arenas independently? This show did not show that. You know why? Because it was guest heavy and because of how it was broken up. It's a fact. They lost an opportunity there. Another opportunity what they lost was the album integration. I'm going to talk about that because that's what I was waiting for. This is why we should not automatically blame the promoter for the guest heavy architecture. The strategy may have worked very effectively for Reggae Fest. It was a great show. The question is whether it was equally optimal and equally as good for Massika's next career stage. Did it prove that him can do this by himself forever and don't rely on other artists for his career, for his money? How could we know? The paying fan hat. From the paying customers' perspective, the people who are listening to, everybody gave it an A. Right? Imagine paying primarily for Massika and receiving Massika, Elephant Man, Vanessa Bling, Ding Dong, I-Octane, Terrace Valley, Swiss Beats, other surprises, the stripper. From a pure entertainment value perspective, oh yeah, the customers wins. Everybody said had a great time. The more successful the guest strategy is, the less certain the Massika test becomes. Say this again. The more successful the guest strategy is, the less certain Massika test becomes. Think about that. If Massika performs alone for 80 minutes and the Barclays remain engaged, we know for sure that Massika can carry the Barclays for himself. If Massika performs broken into sections surrounded by proven crowd killers, we know Massika and Reggae Fest production formula can carry the Barclays. Two different business questions. Massika's team need to focus more on what helps Massika more. Those are not the same conclusions. Let's talk about the guest value matrix. We're almost done. Artists, we're going to talk about the fan value, the promoter's hat, helps Massika brand, the risk of overshadowing Massika. Elephant Man, fan value 10. Everybody was lit. Promoter value 10 because she wants her show for shell off. It did. Helps Massika's brand. I'll give it an 8. Why? There are still questions. And you give the space for a lot of the naysayers or the haters to actually say Elephant Man thief the show. A lot of it was energetic payment. We said it over and over. Risk of overshadowing Massika 10. Ding Dong, fan value 9. Promoter value 9. Helps Massika brand 8. Risk of overshadowing Massika less 7. Vanessa Bling, fan value 8. Promoter value 9. Helps Massika brand 9. Why? Because of politics. A lot of people seeing it as, oh, you know, she rather be over there than with Gaza, and everybody know the feud that was going on and all that stuff. So does it make Massika look like oh, you know, him able to thief over? A lot of people spinning that narrative. It's politics. Narratives are going to be spun. You cannot avoid the politics in the music industry because money is changing hands. Risk of overshadowing Massika 4. I-Octane, fan value 8. Promoter value 8. Helps Massika brand 8. Risk of overshadowing Massika 5. Not that much. Tyrus Riley, fan value 9. Promoter value 9 because him add the texture. Helps Massika brand 9. Right? Risk of overshadowing Massika, this is often just networking. Risk of overshadowing Massika very low. 5. Swiss Beats, fan value 8. But guess what? Promoter value 10. Helps Massika brand 10. Why? It shows international connections. It shows networking. It shows crossover. Risk of overshadowing Massika 3, different lane. And this is why Elephant Man may have been the best entertainment booking and the most dangerous headliner position in booking at the same time. Both can be true, people. It's just because of, and also the positioning never help. Right? Now, dancehall political hat for the entire show. The show communicated several things. Massika is claiming generational space. He is. Not merely, I am one of the hot young artists. No. You know why? You know why? Barclays is legacy territory. You cannot go around it. When you hear Barclays, that's legacy territory. Massika is entering that environment. That is a statement about hierarchy. Him being able to enter that is a statement about hierarchy. Right? Again, the guests function like endorsements, not literal political endorsements, but symbolic endorsements. Think about it. Every artist walking onto your headline stage communicates, hey, your platform is important enough for me to participate in. That is why Vanessa matters. That's why Elephant matters. That's why Taros matters. That's why Swiss matters. Different guests validate different parts of Massika's legitimacy. Is a fact. It's a fact. The different type of the promoter was smart. The different type of guests legitimize the different parts of his legitimacy. Vanessa, cross camp. Elephant, historical. Taros, reggae, more cultural. Swiss, international. Connections, networking. That's strategy. Okay? Promoter did our job. Now, let's look at it. If it holds true, remember I always tell you this. If a principle holds true, it holds true across everything. Now, let's look at the show like a political coalition. Okay? Let's say Massika is the political candidate. He's running for president. Let's think about it that way. Barclays is the convention. All right? Good. The guests, they're the coalition endorsements. All right? So Elephant Man, again, dancehall tradition. Vanessa, that's the history crossover, the Gaza era history crossover, right? Taros, reggae, musicmanship, credibility. Ding Dong, current. I-Octane, 2010s dancehall generation. Swiss uses US music industry legitimacy. Now the guest list looks less random, doesn't it? Yeah. It starts resembling a coalition building around Massika. Now, this is how the coalition can backfire. If I am building a coalition around a candidate, but everybody remembers the speaker's performance as more igniting than the candidates, then we failed. That is essentially the Elephant Man's problem. You invited an incredible campaign speaker and he destroys the room. Then the candidate comes back. Now the candidate has to follow him. That is why placement matters as much as booking. I tell you, it's not what, it's how. How you do things matter. Now, let's go into how I would reorder the concert. Massika, open. He opens it. That established the ownership. Then, early Massika catalog. No guess. You know why? I want him to prove his independence. I want him to prove here that him don't need energy crutches. Prove here that you can actually do it. So the early Massika catalog, right? Then you can have Vanessa Bling. Why? That's the history, the politics, the culture. All right, good. Then go back to Massika and go and reclaim the stage. It's my show. She had a good forward, but it's my show. I'm going to reclaim it. Then Taros Riley. Why? Emotional reset. I'm going to bring her down. Okay, cool. Guess what that allows us to do? For Massika to rebuild and reclaim the energy. Right? And then you can have I-Octane. That's the era bridge, showing the difference from the 2010s all over, right? Then you go to Massika and build higher and use a different song from 438 or from GOK and build higher, right? Then that goes right into Ding Dong. Why? Ding Dong have some movement. Not as high as Elephant Man, but high movement, right? For the people to get up and start moving, right? Then we reset. things go black, or we see a video production, or we put a plug in for the album, and then Elephant Man come, maximum control explosion. Why? Get the people back moving, get the blood pumping again. Everybody was just resetted, watching the video production. They was watching whatever biographical thing, whatever video them create, right? Elephant Man come and start it again, right? Then it black out. You don't bring Massika straight back. You have a cinematic video. You have new lighting. You have the bands playing one of the intros. Just the instrumentals. I make people get ready. Some people start scream because them recognize the song because the instrumentals start playing. And then a new Massika entrance from somewhere else on the stage. Right? And them start to sing in biggest records. Guess what? Now Elephant Man's 100 does not hurt Massika. It becomes the launch pad for the final Massika act. Swiss beats can be played strategically as an international validation anywhere, right? But guess what? The final face that people see, Massika. The final voice, Massika. The final song, Massika. The final bow, Massika. The final image on the screen, Massika. Because guests should borrow the headliner's stage. The headliner should never appear to borrow energy from his guests. If you don't like it, bite it now. These are facts. I want them to listen to what I'm saying. Even if you don't like, I don't care. I don't care. Guess what? It doesn't affect the love I have in my life or the money I have in my life. It doesn't matter. Or the peace. But I want you to learn. Listen to what I'm saying and watch back the show. What Massika should change for the next arena show. This is what you need to change for the next arena show. Not simply lights down, track starts, Massika comes out. No. Build mythology. Use video. Use 438, use genocide, use the struggle, use the success, use the damn Barclays. Then Massika. Make the audience feel like, yo, the protagonist, Julia. The protagonist has arrived. The hero of the show has arrived. Him need an anthem to come out, which is not white. We need to use a full musical director. His records should not simply sound like louder versions of the masters. No, rearrange them. I want to hear some drums, breakdowns, the guitar, the bass drops, the vocal pause. Make the arena version unique. You could have built the acts. This is what I thought he was going to do. Instead of one long playlist of songs, this is what I wanted. Act 1, Jenna, hardcore Massika. Act 2, 438. I'm talking about the struggle and the storytelling. What does that show? That shows growth. Act 3, I'm talking about the woman and the relationships. Why everybody have them problems even while them growing. It's a different emotional temperature. So guess what? That bring the audience back down to 6. Then Act 4, Generation of Kings. That show the triumph. Then Act 5, Forever Reign, Future Legacy. Now it is a show that can rival the best acts worldwide. Listen to me. A lot of these artists that you see the best acts worldwide, them can't even dance. Them learn the skill of stage blocking. Rihanna cannot dance, you know. She can't dance like Beyonce. She can't improvise like Beyonce. It's just fact. She can wind up herself, but she can't choreograph and dance. Right? Britney Spears can dance, but guess what she used? She used her dancing as well as the production. Right? The one there, the little one there with the high ponytail. She is a production queen. She can't dance either. Ariana Grande. Right? We have to start to use the things to make the artists look better, highlight them good. Now, use his storytelling. This is a massive opportunity. Massika is actually one of dancehall's stronger narrative writers. That's why I can't tell you big him up. It's a fact. Why shouldn't the concert be cinematic? Why? Have you been to a cinematic concert? Oh my God, you'll be talking about it for days. Beyonce does that. Jay-Z do that. All of them do it. Visually dramatize the introspective records. Have some introspective records. This instantly separates him from other dancehall concerts. You see, like how there was this the pre album. Oh, what name again? And he actually had it at Carib, and it was like everybody was there, and you hear about the album and the story and all of that stuff. I wanted Vice Cartel to do something like that. I was burning for him to do something like that because it have so much to talk about and to teach, right? That's why I'm still upset at how he roll out the album. It still bother me because of what I wanted to see. This is the same frustration, right? He can move more without turning him into Elephant Man. This is an important distinction. Massika should not suddenly start cartwheeling across the stage. It would not fit him. That's not Massika. Instead, learn deliberate arena blocking. Stage left, stage right, the runway, go up the center, use the risers, the audience interaction. The stillness can be powerful too. When it is intentional, it have to be intentional. Talk to the audience more, Massika. Not endless speeches, but give us Massika, tell me why this record matter. Talk to me between the songs, what the Barclays mean. Tell me a little bit more about Portmore. Tell me about 438. Give me a sentence that I can remember. That creates the intimacy inside such a great venue. The way how he performed was like as if it was a festival or a club, and with the other performers, it was a good show. But did it help Massacres for the future? For all the different hats, the business people that will be looking at that show and wondering if him can actually carry a set for 75 minutes. After every guest, him need to reclaim the room. If a guest comes out and explodes, Massacre cannot simply transition quietly into a next regular song. No, there need to be a guest speak, then there's a transition, then a Massacre monster moment. Drop the hammer. The guests must make Massacre look bigger. My bridesmaids must make me look better. That is why bridesmaids' dresses are usually ugly and the color kind of pastel. It's just a fact. Not replace his energy. Now, I'm going to go into this and we're almost done. Why Forever Rain should have been part of the concert narrative. It should have been part of the concert narrative. I was waiting for this and I was highly disappointed that it was not. Massika headlining Barclays around the Forever Rain album creates album, event, social content, press, streaming, future bookings. That's excellent alignment. But ask, did that concert help to sell Forever Rain? No. Did the show say I didn't buy the album? I watched the show. Did that show make me think, say I need to go hear him album, I need to hear it? No. Right? Or did the guests and the legacy records that him use dominate the conversation? Because if you are launching an album, your concert is a massive product demonstration. It is. If you are launching an album and you say launch an album a couple days before, I know you have this concert, right? Use that concert to make people salivate for that album. Why not take the opportunity? So this is how I would build a story around Forever Rain. All right. Act 1, the struggle, all Massacre. Act 2, 438, that's the breakthrough. Act 3, Generations of King, that's the ascension. Act 4, love, the success, different emotional world there. Show me the variety. Show me some of the woman song them. You need some more. Act 5, Forever Rain. Now the arena show communicates. Massacre has evolved. Suddenly, Forever Rain is not just an album. It becomes the conclusion of a live career story. That is world-class marketing. And that is what pisses me off. When you have the talent and you have the stuff, but it's like, come on, man. I don't know him team. I'm not dissing him team. But you need to do more. You can do more to make the artist shine more. It's just a fact. Was this a Massacre concert or a reggae fest featuring Massacre? That is an important distinction. The branding itself, Reggae Fest presents Massacre. That tells us something. This is not simply Massacre Forever Rain tour. It's not. Because Reggae Fest is also a brand. Therefore, They're effectively 2 stars. There's Massika and Reggae Fest. That business structure, it helps explain some of the programming decisions. It helps explain what the promoter did. The promoter have to protect the Reggae Fest customer promise. She have to protect that, which is multiple artists, surprises, party atmosphere, dancehall spectacle, confetti. Great, that's Reggae Fest. But Massika's long-term goal should eventually be Massika the tour. That's why I say right now we need to start building a tour where the production language belongs entirely to Massika. That is the next test. What's the encouraging part of international report card from Massika? The things that he scores highest in are the things that are hardest to manufacture. That means that the things that he need to improve are the easiest, because a lot of them is just skill, it's not talent. Category, grade, command. All right, so category, lyrics, live delivery, I give him a B. Why? He run out of breath sometimes, right? And in voice break at a couple sections. But I balance it because I was not there. And I have to take into consideration other people who say them love it. Catalog, B+. Why only a B+, Miss Julia? Because he needs some more girl songs. Then it can be a A- to a A, depending on how much girl songs and how good they are. Vocal consistency, B-. And a lot of it have to do with the placements of the artist and what Massika had to do to reclaim the energy. The audience recognition, A. Why? Them recognize him songs. Authenticity, B+. Stage presence, B. Again, he need to communicate more. We need to see more of who he is between the songs. Make the people, you not forget joke, but make the people feel into you. What you're saying, what you're doing. Movement and blocking, B-. It did not utilize a lot of the things that he could have utilized on that stage. Crowd command, I give him a B+. There's a lot to be improved, but I have to be fair because I was not there. I was not there, and I have to listen to the people who were there, and everybody who was there give me good reviews, but I can see certain gaps. The in-between songs were not used. A lot of the silence was not used. Emotional connection, I give it a B-. Why? It could have been a lot more, because he have a lot more emotional connection to do. He have the material for it. Showmanship, I give him B-. Again, that have to do with the communication with the audience as well. Visual identity, I give him a B. Between song personality, this is a C. But guess what? This is a skill. This is something that you can develop, practice. Between song personality. Pacing, give him a C. He's still a sprinter for a large amount of it. He's still a sprinter. Arena scaling, I give him a B. The guest integration, B. Memorable moments, I give him a B. International arena readiness, I give him a B, because you know what? I don't know if him can actually carry it by himself. I'm telling you the truth, because this show did not show me that him can carry it by himself for 75 minutes. With just him, a band, him catalog, and probably 2 guests. Here's the encouraging part. The things scoring highest are the things that are hardest to manufacture. His songs, his voice, his identity, his credibility, his catalog. The deficiencies are largely production disciplines. So a lot of the people that say that him flap, and can't tell me why. A lot of it had to do with the production disciplines. Yes, he need to learn how to use the stage more. Yes, he needs to know how to use the call and response better. Yes, he needs for using personality more and talk to the audience more. Yes, he need to use the silence between the songs and the silence on the stage. He need to use his presence more. Those are fixable. Him can learn that. Him can practice that. Here's the biggest criticism that I've heard. It is not Elephant Man was better than Massika. That is too simplistic. A lot of people saying that, and I'm like, that's so simple. Elephant Man is better at Elephant Man's job. It's just a fact. Stop trying to make an artist another artist. The real criticism is why architect Massika's landmark headline show in a way that repeatedly makes him compete in performance categories that are not his strongest categories. That is the surgical question. Creative director, I'm asking you. Why did you build architect Massika's landmark headline show in a way that repeatedly makes him compete in performance categories that are not his strongest categories. Why? Yes, it gave a great show. The promoter is happy. The audience is happy. But did it show what Massika can do and open business opportunities for the future? Biggest praise. Guess what? Massika did survive the comparison. That matters. If Massika was weak, that's why I keep telling you people, stop with the black and white. There's gray. If he were truly weak, putting powerful performers around him will expose him catastrophically. It's just a fact. It did not. He still looked like a major artist on that stage because he is. But what it did expose was the next layer that Massika must develop. Now, this show was excellent for dancehall. Let me see. DJ Ram said, good perspective views, Miss Julia. Like the breakdown. Then they say, on one side till the other side. Big up yourself, then Tian. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Right? This show was good for dancehall. Even if we constructively criticize part of Massika's individual performance, guess what? The Barclays show was still a major win for dancehall. Those positions are completely consistent. You need to separate, was Massika the greatest he could have been? Then, was this good for dancehall? It's two different questions. Listen to me. Why it was good for dancehall? This may be the biggest benefit. Dancehall needs more than one arena capable name. Dancehall cannot build a sustainable international touring business around one superstar at a time. Yes, Cartel succeeding is fantastic. Bounty succeeding is fantastic. But eventually the industry needs multiple artists capable of participating in large international concert business. It's facts. Dancehall needs depth. A healthy genre cannot say, look at this one artist who can fill an arena. We cannot do that. It needs to be able to say, look at how many artists this genre can elevate into an arena level attraction. That is what the genre needs. Guess what else it does? It gives the promoters more confidence in dancehall. Promoters do not book genres simply because people say they are culturally important. You think promoters care about that? They book what they believe will make back them money. So guess what the promoters look at? Them look at ticket demand. Them look at the venue size. Them look at the merchandise potential. Them look at the VIP demand. Them look at sponsorship. Them look at audience demographics. And them look to see if it's repeatable. Repeatability. Big up yourself, Garnet Reed. Big up yourself, Garnet. Long time I don't see you. Right? Every successful major dancehall event strengthens the business case. It does. We need to strengthen our business case internationally. The conversation becomes Caribbean music is business. Not merely, we're supporting Caribbean culture. No. It's good for you too, promoters. You know, back on the money plus more. It moves dancehall towards a premium level product, which it already is. And guess what? Other people have taken our premium level product and making money from it. Look at all of the festivals in Europe, like I word in the last live that I did. For years, listen to me. For years, dancehall has often been packaged internationally through clubs, small venues, festival slots, Caribbean festivals, multi-artist shows. Arena presentation that changes the perception. Now you have suites, you have premium seating, you have a large-scale production, you have major ticketing infrastructure, you have corporate venue relationships, you have sponsorship possibilities. Guess what that do? That can potentially change so much for dancehall. That changes what dancehall can actually charge. And guess what that do? That affects the artist's guarantees. It makes the business case for investment. Guess what? You think people just to invest? Or because them like the job? No. Investment follows evidence. Did you sell? Was it repeatable? Did people come back? Will I get back my money? Yes, I'll invest. If I am an international promoter and I keep seeing Caribbean audiences show up, I start asking, Ross, who else can I book? I need to jump on this. If I am a sponsor, I'm going to start to say, how do I reach this audience? My God, them audience live. The Caribbean people, them come out and them buy drinks and them buy food. How can I reach this audience? This audience come out every year. That's what a sponsor thinks. If I'm a booking agent, what am I going to think? Which Jamaican artist is next? Why? Because guess what? It's not a matter of if another Jamaican artist can be in the Barclays, is which one of them. That's the next level. That's where we need to be. If I'm a booking agent, this is what I'm thinking. If we start making the case for investment. If I'm a label, I'm thinking maybe touring investment in dancehall makes financial sense. We don't have touring investment in dancehall. We need to have it. All other genres have it. But the only way we're going to be able to have it is if it makes sense financially for the people who are going to invest the money. That is why this is important. And this is why this show was good for dancehall. That creates an ecosystem. One successful show does not transform an industry, but repeated successful shows creates a track record. And guess what? A track record creates capital. And you know what else? It gives the next generation a roadmap. A young Jamaican artist can now say, you know what? Jamaica, Portmore, to records, to albums, to international audience, to major venue. That is psychologically important. It tells the upcoming dancehall artist there's a scale-up path. Listen to me. If Bolt did not run that time, other runners who going to run who did not won't have that frame of reference to say, you know what, I'm gonna beat that time there, you know. I didn't know that time was possible. I'm gonna beat it. Reference point, exposure, scale-up path. What is possible? What have I seen the people who went before me do and succeed? What do I have to live up to? That is what it is. Exposure. Then there is cultural capital. Listen to me. Our cultural capital need to turn to economic capital. We have a lot of cultural capital, but because of the fact that we have no infrastructure, all the foreigners them use our cultural capital and create them own economic capital. They use our stuff and have European festivals all over Germany, all over France, all over the UK, right? And they monetize that every year, making money, economic capital, off of our cultural capital. Why? Because we don't have the infrastructure to support what we need to do. Dancehall never lack cultural capital. How can we lack cultural capital when there's so many other spin-off genres from dancehall? The challenge has historically been converting that into economic capital. Major arena events help demonstrate that conversion. Agents can point to real audiences. The promoters can point to real ticket demand. The venues can point to real venue and real revenue and say, this is the numbers. The sponsors can point to real demographics and say, yes, we can actually sponsor this event. The labels can point to real touring opportunities. That is stronger than simply saying, yeah, dancehall is influential. We already know it's influential. Thanks, but no thanks. The question is, can the culture capture the money created by its influence? Why is it that other people are capturing the money created by our culture's influence? Different generations on the same stage. This is something I like about the guest strategy for dancehall. Even though, yes, I did criticize parts of it for Massika, that distinction matters. The different generations create audience exchange. That's important with a show. Some people come primarily from Massika, and guess what? Them get to experience Elephant Man. Someone grew up with Elephant Man, guess what? And them still get to see Massika. Someone connects with Vanessa. Someone connects with Taros. Someone connects with Ding Dong. Audience exchange helps keep the entire genre alive. Even if Elephant Man's placement created a Massika headliner problem, Elephant Man being excellent is fantastic for dancehall. Why? You know why? because the international people, the international audience can get reminded that, yo, you know, this culture here, you see, our Jamaican culture produces extraordinary live entertainers. And this is a fact. You cannot go around it. Our culture produce showmans and extraordinary live entertainers. Dancehall sometimes undersells that. We undersell our performance culture. We undersell our movement, our call and response, and our dance. It also shows generational longevity. When an older artist can perform beside contemporary stars and them still generate enormous energy, that demonstrates catalog durability. That is what mature music industries have. I want you to listen to what I'm saying. Hip hop have legacy touring, right? Rock has legacy touring. R&B has legacy touring. Country music have legacy touring. Dancehall should have the same thing. An artist should potentially be able to monetize 20 years, 30 years, 40 years of cultural equity. That is how we create wealth inside the genre. That is what Cartel is doing. Cannot go around it. I'm not comparing him to Cartel. I'm just telling you about the genre. Wealth inside the genre is important. Here's the diaspora economics. Brooklyn, again, as I said on the platform last night, is not accidental. The Caribbean diaspora is one of dancehall's strongest economic engines. Jamaica creates the culture, but New York, Toronto, London, Miami, Atlanta, they are major commercialization points. You make money from them, the diaspora. I told you what diaspora means. Scattered seeds. Dia, scattered. Spora, seeds. Scattered seeds. All of us are scattered all over the place. That matters enormously for the genre. We need to normalize dancehall inside major venues. That is why this show was so great for dancehall as a product itself. Every successful dancehall arena event makes the next one slightly less risky to a promoter, right? The first conversation is, can dancehall really work in the Barclays? And guess what? Eventually, the conversation is going to become, which dancehall artists are we putting in the Barclays next? Because there have to be one. You know what that is called? Institutionalization. If we can get that with even the little structure that we have in the genre, that is showing we lick about with Talawa. I did not mean to rhyme there. That was totally accidental. It happens all the time. That is bigger than just one artist. I want you guys to think about it. Also, it do the competition in dancehall. Guess what? Competition is healthy. Another artist can look at Massika and think, Ratted, if Massika can headline the Barclays, I can do it. I will aim for that. Good. So guess what you have to do? Improve your show, young man or young lady. Improve your catalog. Improve your brand. Improve your marketing. Improve your visuals. Improve your international team. Improve your ticket selling ability. Cartel's back-to-back achievement, it raised the bar. It raised the benchmark. It did. Right? But Massika's performance can actually help the genre, and I wanted to help the genre. That's why I even did this presentation. This is where the critique becomes constructive. If we can honestly look at Barclays and say, great milestone, but our artists need stronger arena, creative direction, that is progress, people. I don't care which camp you come from. Me no business if you don't like me. Don't like me tomorrow again. I don't care. Me no business. That is progress. If we can say great milestone, good. But now, how we make it better? We're not begging for space. We're making you back money. We're not begging enough for going in an arena. It is lucrative for you as well. That is progress. Dancehall should never, ever, we shouldn't just celebrate and small-minded, just think that, let's just simply celebrate getting inside the international arenas. No. We need to master the arena production. That's the next level. All right, great. We celebrate getting in the international arenas. I already went through all the reasons why it's great for dancehall, great for the product, all of that stuff. But now we're at the next level. How do we master arena production? We need to do that. You know what that requires? It requires musical directors, creative directors, lighting designers, stage designers, tour managers, show callers, choreographers, visual directors, merchandise teams, sponsorship teams. That creates a dancehall employment ecosystem. Listen, this is how we can employ our own people. And even if it's not your own people, even if you get other people, and them can train your own people, and then you can hire your own people. The Jews do it, the Indians do it. Problem don't. It's just a fact. You can learn from other people and make them train your own people and use your own people. Indians do that all the time. Jewish people do that all the time. This could be an employment ecosystem. Everybody, I keep hearing, oh, and I said it too, right? Yes, some of the festival them is good, because guess what? The Higla them make money, the taxi them make money. Yeah, the hotel them make money, the street vendor them make money. Yes, that's true for that level of scale. But think about if we actually perfect the arena scale. Who else going to make money? Who else of our children going to be able to say, you know what? Actually, I want to be a creative director. What? Really? What do you know about that? I want to be a set designer. I want to be a lighting designer. What do you know about that? Our people are talented. The vision needs to be expanded. And the way how we do that is by cross-pollination. I want you guys to not just be narrow to dancehall. Listen and watch everything else, because they are watching us and they are stealing from us. Why I can give the event an A for dancehall and Massika a lower performance grade, there's zero contradiction, because the event can outperform the headliner when placement and preparation does not pedestalize and protect the performer and their strengths. Happens all the time. Happened to Usher one time. Happened to the guy Tevin Campbell one time. Right? The preparation and the artist placement need to pedestalize and protect the headliner performer's strengths. Because it's his show. It's not your wedding. What the hell you have on white for? Question. Good for dancehall? A. Yes. Cultural significance? A. Yes. International visibility? A. Yes. Promoter confidence? You know she happy. A. Good girl. Audience value? I give it a A minus B. Why? Everybody who was there gave it a A. Most of the people behind the screens gave it a C. Let's combine it. Okay? You know what, Julia? Not A minus B. Give it a A, B. Let's be fair. Because a lot of people, you know. All right. Business significance, A. Proof dancehall belongs in arenas, A. A. Massika's individual performance, B minus territory. Massika's arena mastery, still developing. Fire Nation. Do not confuse my criticism of Massika with the criticism of the achievement. That's what I've been hearing. Those are two different conversations. I can say Massika could be supported more by the creative stage decisions, and he needs to improve his breath work, pacing, and audience communication, while simultaneously saying this was a major victory for dancehall. And the win for dancehall is that we are no longer asking whether our music belongs in Barclays. We are now sophisticated enough to argue about whether the performance inside Barclays was good enough. That itself is progress. This whole conversation, everything that you see what happened for the past week, is a sign of progress. Because guess what? The mindset changed from can we or do we belong in Barclays to how do we improve the performance inside of that is progress. 10 years ago, the victory might have been, yo, dancehall, get into the arena. But now the standards should become, dancehall got the arena, great. Now, let's master the arena. Let's master it. Final grades by Hat. Almost done. Hat. Dancehall fan on screen, A- to B-. Verdict, strong entertainment. Paying customer, A, B. Verdict, tremendous value. This is from the paying customers. Reggae Fest promoter, show grade A. Strong multi-demographic spectacle. That's her hat. Dancehall culture, A plus. Important genre moment. Dancehall politics, A. There was strong coalition optics. Like it or don't like it, it's very polarizing. That's what happens. It's politics. Massika brand building, I'm going to say B- because they could have done more, especially even bringing in, incorporating the other albums and the new album. It was a major milestone with guests not highlighting his strengths properly. I'm going to go back and watch it and listen to what I'm saying. Hat, international business, I give him a B. Why? Strong evidence, further show development required. This is the international business, what they're thinking. Reason why B is because, as I said to you, the international business is going to be thinking, can he carry a show with just him, the bands, for 75 minutes and probably 2 guests? I don't know still because of how the show was structured and the breaks, right? Major label, then we'll give that an A in opportunity, a B- in execution. Why? The assets are there, but it needs to be scaled. Creative director, I give her a B- to C+. She still pass, or he still pass, right? The narrative architecture, that needs improvement. Look up narrative architecture for a stage show. You can know exactly what I'm talking about. Headliner development, B-. Uninterrupted command is still unproven because of the structure of the show. We cannot say it's because of Massika's ability, because we don't know. Even though we know he's a sprinting artist. He does well in 15 to 25-minute sets. Look at his strongest performance. But I wonder if they don't really like the artists them and love the music if I don't watch them, like seriously, and I don't like want to investigate and not naturally curious. Me curious, bad. Even both the ones them who me curious, but me curious. I don't know. I just feel like if you love music, you're just curious about things. But anyway, to each his own. Overall entertainment, A. It was a strong night. Overall strategic execution, B- to C+, B to C+. Why? It was an excellent event, but it was an imperfect Massika showcase. That is what I say. Even though he did well in the event, right? It didn't highlight his strengths and answer those opportunity questions from like the business international people, right? Here's the central foundation thesis. I am not reviewing whether Reggae Fest gave us a good show. They did. I'm asking whether the architecture of that good show was equally good for Massika. Those are 2 completely different grades. Now, here's the good news, especially for the Crux fans. Barclays did not prove Massika is too small. Quite the opposite. This is important. Barclays did not expose that Massika isn't big enough. Barclays exposed what Massika has to develop now that he's big enough. Barclays exposed what Massika has to develop now that he is big enough. That is a very different type of criticism. It is constructive. His problem isn't, does he have hits? Yes, he have hits. It isn't, can he perform? He can. You see him in clubs, you see him in festivals, you see him in the short sprints. It isn't, can his name be attached to an arena level headline event? It just was. His next challenge is, can Massika become as great an entertainer as he is a recording artist? Hear what I'm saying. Can Massika become as, and when I say entertainer, that means the audience control. That means what you do when you have the audience in the palm of your hands. That means showing your personality. Even the Queen Ifrica, when she find the earring on the ground, she made that into a moment. Right? When she tell them, say, listen, the whole I want to nasty, you know, and she made that into a moment. Between the songs are just as important as the songs themselves. Because people still need to be entertained, and it's a show. You're not just entertained by the songs. The most important distinction, Massika proved that he has headliner assets. That's why he was able to book. That's why it was solo. Him have the pulling power. Yes, him have headliner assets. but he did not fully prove the headliner architecture. That is the distinction. And that is not only his fault. That have a lot to do with creative direction. That's the architecture, how the show was built, how it was structured. Julia, Miss Julia, what is headliner assets? Headliner assets is the songs, the voice, the fans, the brand, the catalog, even though it needs to be developed more, the credibility and the demand. Him have that. Him have the pulling power. Okay, great. What is the headliner architecture? That's the pacing. He can develop that him need to. The narrative, the transitions, that the transition between the artists and between the sets. That is creative direction. The theater, that's a skill that him need to learn. The crowd manipulation, that's a skill that him need to still develop. Him can still learn it. The peaks, the valleys, the visual identity, the uninterrupted command. This was not proven because Massika, guess, Massika, guess, Massika, guess. No, right? And then also the finale is headliner architecture. That is the next evolution. And also, I need to add, him need an anthem for come out with other than whites. Put that in there. Enter in anthem brackets. Other than whites. Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you don't want to think to yourself, I don't want to carry it on the platform, I don't want to think about it if you don't like the artist. Here are some debate questions I want you to think for yourself. Was this a show versus performance? Was this a great Massika concert or a great Reggae Fest concert with Massika as the centerpiece? Can a concert be excellent while the headliner's individual performance is good, just good? It was good. Does selling out Barclays prove Massika is a great performer, or only that there was enough demand for the event? Listen, as I said before in this live, he's a sprinting performer. Look at performers, and you can see some of them are marathon runners, some of them are sprinters, but it can be developed. It can be developed, right? Elephant Man. Did Elephant Man enhance Massika's show or expose Massika's performance weaknesses? He did enhance Massika's show, but the placement, right, gave an unfair contradiction and comparison. Let me put it that way. Should you ever place a performer as energetic as Elephant Man in the middle of a young headliner set? You can. It's just how you do it. I told you how to do it. Guest. How many guests now become too many guests for a headline show? This is a question we need to start out. How many guests become too many guests for a headliner show? Should guests create the biggest moments of a headline concert? No. Right? Because certain guests and certain placements, it can make the concert better while making the headliner look weaker. Business now, we're done. Business. If you are Massika's manager, do you care more that Reggae Fest got great reviews, or that Massika personally looked like an arena headliner? Clearly. If you are an international promoter, did Barclays convince you to give Massika his own arena tour? If you are an international promoter, did Barclays convince you? Yes, he had the pulling power, but did it convince you that he can sustain an own arena international tour for 75 minutes? No. You know why? Because of the guests and how they were placed. Would you pay to see Massika alone for 75 to 90 minutes without major guests? That's what people have to think about. Does Massika need a dedicated creative director before his next arena level show? Yes. Now for dancehall. Was this show more important for Massika or for dancehall? I would say both. Why? Because it shows where Massika can improve. Let me capitalize his name. That's disrespectful. It shows where Massika can improve, and it was great for dancehall. So both can be true. It was good for Massika because it showed where he need to improve to actually get to the next level, right? Because it exposed a lot of things what clubs hide. because of the space. It's just a fact. And it was also good for dancehall. Has dancehall reached a point where simply reaching Barclays is no longer enough? Yes. We passed that stage there already. Stop celebrating. So we reached. But great, we reached Barclays. This is great. But that's no longer enough. The next stage needs to be mastering arena production rather than simply celebrating arena access. What are we celebrating for? You think they're not making money off of us? It's great for the culture. Yes, it shows that. But stop act like we're begging space. We're not begging nobody nothing. They're getting entertained and them getting their money. Now we need to master it so that it's not a matter of, can this artist or can a Jamaican artist, can a dancehall artist? No, yes, we can. It's a matter of which one. That's where we need to get to next. I am Miss Bluefire, always taking you higher. Let me see some of the the comments now. Dub plate culture is also a big setback. Very true, Guchu. Miss T said, good night, Miss Julia. Pick up yourself, Miss T. Pick up yourself, Miss T, my sister. Good to see you. Good to see you. Andre said, we can say the same about Cartel. Remember, Cartel first Barclays, him voice gone. Massika did well. I guess you missed the live. Cartel have 17 guessing tuners at Barclays. The first, I guess you missed the live. You need to go back. Go back and listen to the live and hear what the context and what it is that I said. Right? Did I say Cartel was without fault? Never once said that. I even give my own critique of Cartel to the fact that even people in Gaza Nation don't even like the fact that I even critique my artist. I don't care because I want my artist to be better. I want what's best for my artist. I'm not a yes man. Go back and listen to the live before you give our opinion when you walk in the classroom late. And again, we are talking about what the good that Massika did and what he can do better for next time. Is that a whataboutism? Oh, but what about this? Oh, what about no? This is what we're talking about right now. When cartel time come, we talk about him too. I do. Anyway, if nobody's going to call in to give them 2 cents or anything, big up on yourself, because guess what? I have been here for, 10, 11, and I started at what time? 7, 10. 3 hours. Exactly. Very interesting. Big up yourself, Sirak. No problem. Share, like, and share it. I want people to start to think about dancehall like this, like the business, and start to think about it not only from being entertained or a consumer's hat. Think about it as actually for the culture and what the other people are seeing for the next level that we want to have and want to reach, and for the health of the genre. We need to get serious. Okay? We need to get serious. And we need to start to take a vested interest in learning the music business and learning the performance business, right? And learning from other genres. Because a whole heap of them have sold out arenas and make millions of dollars and then can't even hold a candle to our dancehall artists when it come on to them, when it come on to their when it come on to their courage, when it come on to them talent, and when it come on to them story. These are facts. Anyhow, I am Miss Bluefire, always taking you higher. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you later.
Fire Nation, listen to me. You don't log off and go back to playing small. You take what you learned and you execute. This is why Fire Nation exists. To rise higher, to build smarter, and to change the financial future of our families. I'm Miss Julia, A.K.A. Miss Bluefire, always taking you higher. And wherever you go next, you carry our fire with you. Fire Nation, we rise, we build, and we're just getting started.